Well, I didn't start on the intro slide, so it's whatever. Hello. we are.
Hi.
Oh, we're live?
We are
Hello,
live.
everybody.
Whoopsie
I'm
poopsie.
not alive.
Shit, I forgot to get my drink. Be right back. Entertain people, everyone.
It looks like it hurts your brain doing that.
Yeah,
He
what little
doesn't
brain
have
there
a
is.
brain.
You think there's anything going on in here?
No.
Never is.
You shake
So-
your head, you hear rattling.
Wow.
I showed Zeke this already, but I finally grabbed one from the other room.
I like it.
Yeah. Beware the smiling DM. So, hello everyone. Grab your drinks and raise your glasses. It's time for Fools and Flagons.
It's time for fools and asses.
Oh,
I like the second option better. I want to go with that one.
Oh, bite me.
I'll be
listen,
right
you
downstairs.
did-
Hold on a second.
listen, you did plenty of extracurricular activities during the last session, okay?
I only got a B. I
Oh.
needed to go back for extra credit.
God. Oh. Nim, are you on your phone yet? Can you tell me if the audio's good?
Was this song by Steel Panther
Audio's
Hot
fine.
for Teacher?
Yep.
Well, thank you, Kayla. You are quite lovely.
I
Is that-
know, I'm fantastic.
Is that a Goyle in the background, or is that just your corkboard behind the cat tree?
It's a corkboard.
Oh, I was hoping it was the loaf.
No loaf.
Maybe sometime during the session I'll see her. That is not the loaf I was asking for. But
Maybe.
Like how
Okay.
his cats just stick his fat ass in his face.
Yeah, it's notorious. As soon as I start playing D&D, he's like, all right, my butt belongs here.
my butt belongs on the interwebs. All right. Anybody have anything?
Ready for a nap.
Hey, same.
No.
Wake up.
There'll be no sleeping.
Wake up.
Forever.
Grab a bunch of little makeup. Okay. So quick announcement. We do have a Patreon. Donations are not required, never required,
Always-
but
always
always,
required.
always appreciated. Kayla, for whatever reason,
Always-
can never get the wording right. You'll have to forgive her. She's tired. She's been in the yard soaking up the sun all day. Her brain's cooked. There was something else I was going to say, and I keep forgetting it. I keep thinking, like, put it in your notes so you can say it, and I always
In the
fucking
bag,
forget
you
it.
lose- You didn't put it in the bag.
I didn't put it in the bag.
I can't do it.
I think it might have been about the fact that we're now using Sirenscape. So kind of like a thank you to them because we no longer have crashes in the middle with that squeak.
Kitty, move her
Yeah.
butt.
Give him a round of applause.
Oh,
Have you invited?
Speaking of, should I? Yeah, I was about to say,
Invited.
speaking of, should I launch that or we
to
don't? We don't need that at the
Sirenscape?
moment.
I don't have tabletop open at the moment because I
Okay,
don't
cool.
believe that that's going to be necessary.
I'll make it necessary.
I mean, I
I
can
can't
launch
do
it
it.
if you guys just want to fuck around with the models, but
No.
Fuck around
I'm
with
alright.
Pez.
Veneer just
You wanna
goes
fuck
up to
around with
someone and
Pez?
punches him in the
Alright.
face. Fight me!
No, it's fine. If it doesn't need
Yeah.
to be open, then.
yeah, okay.
We'll launch it when we need to, if we need to.
So, a quick recap. You all are still in this the city of Rivercross, town of Rivercross. I've never really figured out what the differentiation is between those. R.S. Hearn is Becca, right?
Yes.
Hello, Becca. So, you are all in the town of Rivercross. You met up with Lapis to discuss how you were going to take on the notorious the Duke. You spent the next couple days kind of poking around, kind of gearing up. You'd made a little bit of money. Kasumi saw hidden messages in the wall to get to the local Thieves Guild. And Zahn essentially said, fuck that, I'm going to go get laid, which, I mean,
I did.
he did. And he performed relatively well. You were all...
Bad. Woogie, woogie, woogie.
So you all met the leader of the Thieves Guild, Pyrrha. She seemed to already know of your exploits, and she decided that though you had made your way into there, which means that one or other of you were a thief of some sort, she still wanted to sort of test your mettle to make sure that you were worth her time. So, she gave you a task to raid a wealthy merchant's home to swap some correspondence to ruin a trade merger.
It went great.
Much to the DM's chagrin, and much to my wasted Friday, the entire mansion was
I
circumvented by a fox, an owl, and a bunny to go in the back window to swap out the letter. Zahn was confronted by a small kobold guardsman and was almost instantaneously vaporized by a gigantic bolt of lightning, leaving nothing but a crater.
It was killed by the Boff Furry crew.
All right,
BOF.
gonna kill Zahn now. Does anyone else want to play in his place? So Zahn fled to the river. The rest of you left and just kind of said, fuck it, he'll be fine. And I believe with a clever use of locate creature, he was able to find you. Oh no, locate object. That's right. You looked for Brick's pink bandana, and you caught back up with your compatriots. And
The bandana.
was it
No,
not?
it wasn't the bandana.
Bandana.
It was an item of which we will not speak of.
Oh, that's right. The foot. Okay,
Yeah, because remember, I rolled to see if I remembered his bandana.
that's right.
I am the opposite of remembered the banana.
The banana.
The banana hammock. I couldn't
Bandana? I'm
remember.
pretty sure it was a banana.
Banana hammock.
So, you then returned to the River Rats, the Thieves Guild, and you, through a short means of discussion, you came to, I'm using all the wrong words. You came up with a plan in which you can use a few members of the Thieves Guild to temporarily pose as the 5-member bandit group. So some of you can be hiding on the train, and some of you that are able to pass by as the others can go with Lapis to meet with the Duke. After that, you all decided that the day had grown long. You wanted some rest. Brick wanted to resummon Mortar because it was unfortunately a little too close to the thunderclap and turned into feathers.
Not my fault.
On the way back, Venera summoned the merchant. You all went down for a long rest. If you haven't already done that, you may. And so, as we can hear from the background audio, you slept in just a little bit because it was a long day of shopping. Lots of sugars were eaten from the Swift Song family that Venera went and... So Venera, at the very least, had a massive sugar crash. The city is alive and bustling. The day is yours. Also, before I forget, Pez is on the way. It is his birthday, so we're giving him plenty of leniency. He's with his family. He should be back sooner rather than later.
Normally we just beat his ass and call it good.
West side.
But since it's his birthday, I guess we'll be lenient.
So, actually, before I forget,
Happy
I can't
birthday!
yes,
Damn it.
happy birthday to Nim. Happy birthday to Pez.
Happy
so,
birthday, Kobold buddy.
backtracking just a little bit because I almost forgot about this. I missed it in my notes. It's the middle of the night. You were all in your respective rooms. Is anyone in the same room as Zahn?
I think Venera is.
Are we?
Thought I was.
Not Venera, sorry, no, Kasumi. I was about to say, was it?
It's me.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
oh,
Kasumi.
yeah,
It was
because you
Kasumi.
Okay.
talked about brushing
Oh
each
no,
other's
I'm,
tails.
I'm
Yeah.
downstairs still.
Kasumi,
Yes.
make a perception check, please.
Okay. All right.
You done?
Oh,
You done messed up, hey Ron?
Actually, let me change the...
take yourself to Oshag Hennessy's office.
Let me change the audio since I am backtracking to it being nighttime.
You said perception.
Timothy.
Yes,
President.
please.
Okay. Cat, quit with your tail.
I want to roll the dice,
11.
11. Okay. Come on. Load. What's the point of paying for... There we go.
What's the point of paying? Oh, there it is.
I was about to say, what's the point of paying for gigabyte internet speeds when it takes this fucking long to load?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the crickets are chirping. Most of you are having a wonderful night's sleep. Kasumi, you were in that state of rest where you wake up and it's really cold, but you were just too damn lazy to get up and do anything about it.
That's gonna be tonight.
Yeah, that's what it was last night. Holy shit. So, Zahn, your dreams are a little bit tumultuous. You were on crashing waves, but with no ship. And yet you don't feel the fear of sinking. You were moving fast, very fast. And all of a sudden, you feel rain on your face. By the time you realize that you're feeling rain, you're being hit with snow. Faster and faster you're traveling, snow pelting your face, little flakes here and there. It's like you're driving through when warp speed, when all of a sudden you come to a screeching halt on the banks of a very familiar sight. It's the shoreline where you were raised, and standing on the shoreline is Valkyrie. She's standing there, tall, powerful, hands on her hips, wings tucked in her back. She kind of looks at you, and she tilts her head.
Hi, Valkyrie. Mom. Sorry.
Zon, my dear, you have been gone far longer than normal. It is good to see you are alive.
Oh, come on. It's going to take more than that to kill me.
What the fuck? I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck that is. Where is this? Okay, I really have no idea what's making this sound.
Apparently my dreams are spookier than it's welcome to the spooky dream-o-vision.
Valkyrie's just standing there with a sheet over with the eyes cut out.
It's a spooky month!
It's not pointed though. It's not pointed. We're just making.
Okay, I believe it was a thing that I just disabled, so hopefully we won't be interrupted by spooky sheets anymore. So, sorry, as you were saying.
I'll make the
Oh, I
noise.
just said it takes more than that to kill me.
Oh. You are speaking very strangely. You are well?
I'm fine. Listen, people don't like our accent down here, okay? Kind of gives me away even more than the copious amounts of armor and fur.
I did not think that would be a problem for you.
It's not, normally.
Well,
Fine. Is it better?
much better.
Make it better.
Now, you are abroad, I assume? You have not come back with your ship?
I might have gotten captured by the Natural Kingdoms.
Yet you are not dead. You took some with
mean-
you.
Oh, obviously, all of them. But, you know... I got...
Not enough if you were captured.
No. Well, they let me walk right out of jail.
I have heard of this. Do you plan on returning?
I have met up with a decent amount of my party. And we are hunting very dangerous person. But he does not scare me.
You are still working on your legend then. That is good. You will have many stories to tell, I hope.
Oh. I might have a adopted son?
Adopted? Or had one?
This it's not easy to explain. He's a robot. Or mechanical man.
I was about to say, you would not know the word robot.
Sorry, mechanical man.
This intrigues me. You must come home and tell me all about it. When can you be here?
This is not something that I can tell you. This might take a little longer than normal.
She kind of sighs for a moment. This does upset me. But you look well. You have been using my gifts, which means you are still working on your legend. So, be well and come home when you can.
Mother?
Yes. Ooh. Brick, could you please stop streaming so we can get Pez in here proper? Okay, I will have to reorganize people just a little bit, but that's not a problem. What were you saying, Zahn?
Mother, can I ask? Oh, sorry.
Pez, could you turn your camera on, please? Pez. Neem, I need your camera on.
It's not detecting it. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. So sorry, as you were saying, Zahn?
Can I ask for one more thing?
We have limited time. Be quick about it.
Can I hug?
No.
Oh.
You are not actually here. This is just your brain, your mind. Look down.
Oh.
As you look down, there is nothing there but the ocean beneath your feet. And by the time you look up, you are already shifting backwards at a rapid pace. Beep, beep. Again, the flurry of snow comes whizzing past your head in the opposite direction. It's a very odd sensation to be going backwards and not be able to do anything about it. You're going faster and faster and faster. And then suddenly you feel a little bit of a lurch. You open your eyes. You're in your bed. And your room is covered in snow. And there's a odd shape beneath the blankets on one side with a few tails sticking out from underneath it.
Isa. This needs to get cleaned up. Or fuck it. Fuck it. Going back to sleep.
Soggy in the morning.
I'll still be covered in snow.
There we go. Now we got Pez in the right spot. There he is. There's the birthday boy. Hello.
Boy.
Hey.
Happy birthday, lizard boy.
Okay.
Think.
So, Kasumi has slept through most of this. She's felt the cold, but wasn't able to notice that there was anything strange. Just burr, it's chilly, tug the sheets in a little bit tighter, and just power through it because you're absolutely fucking tired. So, the day greets you with the chatter out on the street. You can hear the city is very quickly becoming the normal hustle and bustle that you had seen previously. Light starts to creep in through the window panes, through the slats and the shutters. You all awaken at your leisure. The day is yours. What would you like to do?
Just as a side note, I can't wait for Brick to find out he has a grandmother that's an adoptive grandmother that's a goddess. He's gonna flip. Anyway, continue.
Can I brush Veneer's tails before she wakes up?
I don't have tails. Well,
No,
I
I'm
have
sorry,
a tail.
Kasumi's tail. Sorry, Kasumi's tail. My bad. So-
Are you trying to do this sneakily?
Softly, like,
Make a sleight of hand check.
Sure.
And
Let's see what my sleight of hand is.
Kasumi, can you make a perception check against his sleight of hand?
Wow, that's actually pretty decent. Sleight of hand is +3. Okay.
13.
Got a 12, 13, 14, 15.
You sleep right through him brushing off your tails.
Do I wake to this?
If you would wake up normally at this time, then yes, you would wake up to him brushing your tails as you wake up underneath a pile of snow. The room that you were in is currently a winter wonderland.
So, I'm not quite sure what to react about first, but the fact that she's covered in snow seems to be more of the concern at this point. And she did go to sleep in fox form, so she immediately, like, tries to bolt out of the room. And I'm assuming the door is not open.
The door is not open. So at best, you would sprint towards the door and slam into it.
Okay. And is this a turn knob, or is this like a lever knob?
This would be a... Hadn't thought that far ahead. It is a lever knob.
I know it's a weird question. Okay, she's still in fox form. She's gonna pull that lever down, sprint out into the hallway, and start shaking vigorously. That wet fur shaking.
Yeah.
I could just see Mortar being on like the railing, see her come out, just.
So, Kasumi comes sprinting out of her door. Thankfully, the door opens outward and not inward, or else the snow would block it. And you do your little shake, and you make a little flurry as flakes go kind of flying everywhere and drift down slowly. And as soon as they touch the wood, they melt.
Is there a fireplace?
There is one downstairs, but whether or not that is lit, I do not believe it was lit before you all went to bed.
Alright, she's gonna make her way downstairs. Still in fox form, hoping that the fireplace is lit.
Okay. The rest of you are slowly awakening. What are you doing? You're already awake. Stop it.
We'll put my armor on and walk downstairs.
Brick is gonna go find Venera, or wait for her to wake up.
Oh, she's up.
Okay.
She's kind of just
Venera.
like waiting for people to wake up because the merchant is here.
Venera, I need assistance.
Yes?
Can I borrow the looks around shiftily? Can I borrow the bad thing?
What?
Can I borrow the foot?
Z, can
What's the word?
you turn your gain up a little bit? You're a little quiet.
Okay. How's that?
Much better.
I might need some extra luck today.
Why?
Convincing someone to give me a big weapon.
No?
But it might go boom.
Who are you convincing?
Oros, the maker of the Dragon Arms guns.
Maybe.
Okay. You can come with. I probably also will need Pez to come with too.
Probably.
You seem excited.
Yeah. The merchant is here.
Oh. I have questions for him too.
Okay.
Because we don't have tabletop open, I am posting the map in chat for you all.
Thank you.
Map, 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 map.
Eek.
Map, 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 map,
That
map,
over
map,
there. Ah, my eyes. It hurts in 4K.
map.
In fact, I also need to open it so that I can keep track of where the fuck you guys are.
He was
rude.
gonna.
I did, yeah. I love this
Very
soundboard.
angry.
It's so random. I love it.
Merchant, 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 merchant.
Okay.
Let's go down. Stairs.
So,
Brick. Do, do,
Okay.
do.
anyone
Lou.
anyone that was sleeping upstairs, you would see a small puddle in front of Zan and Kasumi's door. And if you pass by and look inside, you will see that there is glistening white wonderland within. Which I don't believe, Zan, you've come out yet. You're still kind of frolicking, I guess.
Snowball fight!
You know what? Make an attack roll.
Brick
Yeah!
immediately walks inside.
Well, you were downstairs.
Is it
No,
unarmed
but I
attack?
came up to
or-
see Vanera.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
What kind of attack? Unarmed?
Add your dex modifier.
19.
Who are you throwing this at?
I don't know.
Which one of you wants to? Okay, we'll do
I'm
this.
walking
So
through the
Oh,
door,
we'll,
so I
Brick,
see
hold
a
on.
bigger
I was gonna say
target.
Vanera is underneath, Brick is on top. You hit Brick, or it's being thrown at Brick, so long as it hits him.
Oh. I'm actually gonna say, despite his armor class, Brick is gonna be just so enthralled. It's still gonna just hit him, but he's not gonna react. Just
Okay, so
wounded
he
by-
catches it straight in the face, and you see like the snow is like caught on the top of his little like eye cups. It's kind of like dribbling down his face, and he doesn't blink, so it just sort of.
Hey, Brick. I need you to eat the snow.
okay.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah, don't eat the yellow snow.
He loves it.
It's
Brick's just gonna go
water.
arms out and just fall face forward into the snow.
So
Snow.
the snow.
Beer, eggs, bacon, snow.
The snow is only like an inch or two, so you kind of face plant into the ground and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you just face plant, just boom. The whole house
Brick
heard
does-
you.
Brick doesn't care. He's rolling around in the snow. He thinks this is the greatest thing ever.
Well, that is something. Guten Tag, Vanera.
Why are you talking like that?
Brick sits up. Yes, why are you talking like that?
Would it surprise you if this is actually what I sound like?
Surprisingly, no.
Oh,
Yes.
wunderbar.
Why do you
Sehr
sound
gut.
different?
Well, this is the accent of people from Rokasi. I keep them accent to make it more accepting for people.
DM, would
But-
Brick even know what an accent is?
You know the definition of an accent in your memory banks, and you have heard people talking kind of funny. And in this instance, I would say that you were able to put two and two together, because you have heard different dialects. You've heard Kasumi speaking Takatari. You've heard other people like the various gnomes and dwarves having different connotations and how they say words. You're smart enough that you're able to put two and two together here.
I was talking to Muzza last night, and she didn't like the fact that I wasn't using my accent. So, and now I'm using my accent.
Sorry, did you say mother?
Yes.
As in your mother?
Well, it's certainly not mine.
Is any other type of mother?
Have a grandmother?
Well,
Does he even know what a grandmother is?
It is the forebearer of your forebearer.
Okay.
that is correct.
Test. I was testing. You pass.
Gold star.
Right between the eyes.
Do a little
Wait,
druid
is
craft, make a little sprig spread.
She misses me and she wishes I was home.
Your grandmother visited you in a dream.
Yes.
Is she a wizard?
No, her name is Valkyrie.
As in,
The god of Rokasine? Yes. I am hungry. I want to go downstairs.
you see smoke coming out of Brick's head. Just like,
You see one of his
Zon
eyes
is
kind of
gonna-
like his eye can't really like twitch, but it's flickering.
Come on, Venera. Let's go downstairs. Let's Brick process this. You pat Brick on the chest as he walks past.
between seeing Snow for the first time and realizing that his grandmother is a literal goddess, Brick is having an existential crisis.
I was about to say, is he having an existential crisis? So, you head downstairs. You find Kasumi. Kasumi, have you done anything with the fire, or are you just staring at it longingly?
So, if there's a fire,
There is no fire.
She is okay. Then she is laying on any couch she can find, curled up in a ball and shivering violently.
Okay. So you all come downstairs. Brick is. He was covered in snow, but as soon as he leaves the room, it begins to melt. So he's just like kid fresh out of the shower, just plop, 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 dripping water everywhere. Venera's.
He's so upset. Kasumi!
She's in fox form, so she just like looks up at you, and she's still like violently.
She's got the
shivering.
Chihuahua shakes.
Yeah, she's got the Chihuahua shakes.
Guten Tag, Kasumi.
You can feel the glare.
Hold 1 second, Kasumi. Come here.
She hesitates for a second, and then she just slowly walks up and just very properly just plops down in front of you and just looks at you.
So you see Zon pull his armor up a little bit and pull off a small little pendant. It's got a blue glowing crystal on it and puts it around the fox's neck. All of a sudden, you now feel like it's regular temperature inside. I will expect that back.
It takes her a second to like feel that adjustment, but when she does, she shapeshifts back into human form. She just looks at you and why?
What do you mean?
Why was the room covered in snow?
That might have been my dream, but I don't know. I woke up and it was snowy.
I'm gonna have a small request. She takes off the medallion and gives it back to you. Don't do that again.
I didn't have much choice. My mother wanted to talk to me.
Like snow? I don't like sleeping underneath it.
You kind of get used to it.
No, and then she just walks away.
I'm looking here, but she's a white fox. This means that she's Arctic fox.
Doesn't mean she likes the snow.
Whatever.
Pez, where are you as all this is happening?
Yeah, I'm just observing.
So
I'm in the corner.
I was gonna say,
Hat
you're all
over my head.
downstairs having this conversation, and Pez is just sitting on the counter petting hamburger, just silent, watching, and you're like, ah!
quest.
Yes.
Sure, after we take care of our business here, can we please go north?
We're not going north specifically just to see the snow.
But I also want to give grandmother a hug.
You have a grandmother?
He's my
I do now.
he's my adopted sons, and I guess my mother is also his grandmother.
This is a weird family.
Listen. Well, maybe.
Merchant's here.
Wonderful.
Merchant. Yeah.
Merchant. Merchant's here. I have the stone, and I took it.
Is that an eraser?
Are you sure?
No, it's a stone.
Are you sure he's here? He's
I
here?
took it. Well, yeah. Well, wait. No, it's 24 hours. I did it last night. He wouldn't be here yet.
Yeah, it's probably be later tonight.
He's not here yet.
If I might interject, he
Too
said
fast.
that it could take up to 2 days for him to arrive, depending on
Oh,
how
yeah,
far
that's right.
away he was.
That's right. I forgot.
And because I haven't made you a proper item for this, I feel the need to express that because it's been a minute since you've used it.
God damn it! No merchant today.
It's okay. I would like to see him as well.
Me as well.
Yeah.
After we get paid, though.
Have we eaten breakfast yet?
Pocket bacon.
Oh,
So
my
apparently,
stomach's hungry.
Pez and Hamburger have, but
Rick's just gonna take a piece of bacon and like hold it in his mouth.
Where'd you get the bacon?
Don't worry about it.
No. Brick. Where's Brick on the stream? Brick!
look the other way.
Rick,
Oh shit, Brick!
How did you get there?
Where'd you get the bacon?
I just took it off someone's plate.
That's stealing!
No, that is acquiring with gusto.
It's still stealing!
Down, Kasumi,
Says the
down.
one who hates thieves?
No, Venera Kasumi, that is not how we're going to remember this.
Fuck, he brought it into this.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna remember that.
I don't want to hear it. You were the ones that went into the assassin's place.
That are going to help us.
Yes, regardless.
So muddy.
Yes.
At least they will not be hiding. Well, plain sight, but it's not the same.
Mud paws.
So, what's the plan?
I ordered
I don't know.
To Dragon Arms, and I would appreciate if, as
Mhm.
because if I remember correctly, he needs to be there to pick up a non-person. on his job.
Didn't you guys come to get me so that we can go pick up some licenses of some sort?
We need to do that too.
Ah, yes.
That's on the way, I believe.
Then we'll have no problem going there.
Is it just me, or does it sound like God is typing in our ears?
Sorry, that's me. I
I
turned
think
off.
those are people on the roof working.
I turned off CRISPR so that my voice wouldn't get cut off as I'm doing voices, and it just means that tippity taps are much easier to be picked up. So that's
Hold 1 second. Let me make sure I don't type to anybody.
So Ian, do I sound better now?
yeah.
Okay.
Changing my sensitivity so it doesn't always proc on a key type too.
Cat.
No, you don't have to. I was just making a joke.
Oh no, but I mean, like, I'm glad you said something, so now I can tweak it and make it even more better. Okay, so you were all heading out to the Dragon Arms.
I am.
Uh,
Oh,
the,
do we need to go
uh,
pick up his license first?
Yeah, the sheriff office is on the way, right?
The sheriff's office is technically past the Dragon Arms place. You would have
Oh.
to go past that to get to the sheriff's office.
Might as well all go anyways. We gotta go down there.
Yep.
Okay. So, you all head out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're all at least partially familiar with the city at this point. You've been to about 90% of it, which is a big deal because this is a large fucking city. So you head out of the Thirsty Boar Inn, and you hang a little bit of a right down past the Broken Bottle Tavern, and you hear a bit more commotion than you have before, and it doesn't seem to be within the tavern. It seems to be past it on the other side. You continue on down, heading towards the Dragon Arms. You pass by Bilver's little scroll, get to the end of the street, you hang a right, and there you see the Dragon Arms manufacturing.
Did anybody see what the commotion was about?
Yeah, did we see what the commotion was?
You can make a perception check at disadvantage because it seems to be around the building.
Sure. A
Mhm.
perception?
Mhm.
No.
Nope.
No.
Rolled a 7, but I still get a 15 because I'm plus 8 perception.
You don't see anything. You don't see anything from your vantage point, but as you're walking past, your ears are kind of both turned in that direction, and you vaguely hear someone who's rushing past say, "He's here."
Well, is someone in the city who everyone is excited to see. I do not know
Hmm.
who this is, but they said he is here.
Would that be the merchant?
I do not know. They just said he.
Could be anyone. Could even be the mayor.
Would I
He seems very well liked in this
No.
countryside.
Would you know?
how close the merchant was? Like, does the stone feel different depending on?
No. So far as the 2 times that you have used it, it has grown warm when you've squeezed it to say the passphrase. But other than that, it seems to be a normal, inert, cold stone.
It's a rock.
It's not just a rock.
It's
I
not a
don't-
boulder. It's a rock.
I'm glad y'all caught that. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Used to fucking take naps
Who do
with
you think
SpongeBob.
who do you think you're dealing with?
Nerds. So,
Nerd.
you all continue on to Dragon Arms, or
Yeah.
okay? I was gonna say I saw one head nod, and I'm going with that one. So, you all hang a right. Off in the distance, you're able to see the Burnt Whiskers Alchemist shop. But before you reach there, you get to the small little kind of gateway house kind of thing, just built into the side of the wall. You walk up to it. You remember from before that it should be open. So, Brick, I'm assuming you're the most excited to be here. So, you go.
Oh, I'm gonna walk up to the door, about to knock on it, stop, turn around, look at, and my mind just went blank.
Pez, Zon.
Vanera, thank you. Vanera. Had to look at the Twitch stream because my mind just went, hi, bye. Vanera, and I'll look at Vanera and go, can I please have our...
What are you asking for, Breed?
Father, maybe you should do the talking about the big boom thingy.
What big boom thing?
He has big weapon. I assume it makes big boom. That we were trying to convince him of last time.
Oh, the experimental weaponry?
Yes.
I mean, I don't see why he would want to talk to me. He was more excited to talk to you.
Okay. Vanera, can I please have the item?
What
And
item?
why
As
don't
I
you,
look sideways at Zon.
why don't you say it, Rick? What do you want?
Yeah. What you looking for? Maybe I have something.
May I please have the foot?
Oh, I don't have one of those.
You just hold up hamburger. This one?
Yes, Brick. What foot?
The mammal foot that belongs to a certain species that hops around a lot.
Vanira, do you have a foot that's like that?
Yes.
Mmm.
May I please borrow it?
Is this a one-time only thing, DM? foot.
Check the item's description.
I just wanted to make sure.
Let's say we've used it before.
No,
So.
we
No,
have
you
not.
have not.
No, we have not.
Really? I thought we
Really?
did.
Yes. No. Okay, so it only has the one charge per day, but every dawn I roll a D100 and 25 or lower regains a spent charge. So
You don't
I have
to give it to me if you don't want.
I'm
I say go
asking for
for it.
clarification, DM.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were just explaining it. Yes.
no,
So,
I'm asking for
so every dawn you have a 25% chance for the charge to regain. That is an unlimited, but if it doesn't regain the charge at the next dawn, you would have to wait till the next dawn to see if it
The next
regains
dawn.
its charge. Yes.
It's fine. I didn't realize it was that finicky. If you don't want to.
You guys haven't used it in 17 fucking sessions. Like, just...
Yeah. She's gonna take it out of her pocket and just dangle it. Nice.
What color is it?
Yes, what color is it, Vanira?
White.
I will kill you.
I honestly didn't remember what color it was.
Well, the picture is like a brownie tawny orange, so we'll go with that. It's like an orange.
That's much better.
I'm gonna pass it off and be like, I want this back when you're done.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll turn around and on the door, and then realize, oh wait, and then like creak open the door to see if anyone's inside.
You see behind the desk Oros, and he goes, he looks like he's about to stand up, and he sees you open the door. Ah, you remembered how to open it. Excellent. Come in. Hurry up!
I quickly jaunt in. Hi.
He's like a child
Hello.
at the candy store.
I assume you are here to pick up your new weapon.
Yes, please. Also, these are my friends.
Yes.
Alright.
I remember them being in here before. He seems to have like no patience for pleasantries.
He does.
Now, I take fantastic notes, and I don't remember if you paid for it beforehand or not. I feel like you did, or
I
you
feel
paid
like I did
half
as
of
well.
it.
He did.
Yes. Did I pay half or did I pay?
You paid half before, and you were going to pay half when you picked it up.
Right.
Okay.
And you couldn't. You didn't know anything about the experimental stuff yet, though.
Right. He said he had an experimental weapon. We tried to convince him to let us use it.
He said, "Come back later."
Yeah, come back later. And also, I remember from talking to the bounty
There it
people, we
is.
need to talk to him if we want to pick up the job, and only Pez can technically pick it up.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. You have the rest of the payment, and he's looking to Brick again.
Yes, sir. How much was it again?
If this is my correct notes, it was $375 total.
Okay, $375 total, and it paid half. So it'll
I
be.
kind of, if my note here is correct, it looks like you paid $200 up front.
Okay, so
So
175.
175 is what you owe left over. This is also around the notes that say hamburger is a wormhole. Panics and kobold. Being alive is confusing. I take terrible notes in the middle of these things.
Oh yeah, that was a brick saying being alive is confusing.
Yeah. So, you
Brickism.
go ahead, Pez.
Yep.
Nothing.
Oh, I'm all for you making fun of Brick, please.
I'm just calling it a brickism.
A Brickism. Okay, so you pay him the money, and as he takes the coin, he sits it down below where you can't really see what he's doing, and he pulls back up a beautifully crafted wooden box with the metal corner protections, a nice little clasp. There's no lock on it, But he flips it open, opens it up, and it is red velvet on the inside. It is molded to fit the gun perfectly. And below it are a few little extra, essentially enough rounds to fill it up once that are nestled in the case. And he goes, "Here you are, your own custom firearm."
Thank you very much. It is beautiful.
I want that box.
I don't care what you do with the box. You paid for it. You could chuck it in the river if you wanted.
I'll take the gun, load the gun, and kind of look at the sights.
No fire in here. The missus would be
Sorry.
quite cross with me if you put holes in it.
And then I will take the box and hand it to Zahn.
Ah, yes. Stashes the box in my bag.
I also had 2 other points of business to discuss with you.
Yes,
First,
hurry. My day is booked solid, so quickly.
Number 1, we would like to take the job to protect your train.
Oh, would you now?
Yes.
You're all bounty hunters.
We are all technically bounty hunters, but I believe he would be the person to actually take your job officially.
Hello.
Hello! Well, the train's not to leave for another 2 days, so if you're interested, I can certainly give you the little slips of permission to be aboard my train.
Would be much
Do it.
appreciated.
Do it.
Blew it.
Vanera, I didn't know you could do that. So, the 5 of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he's kind of looking around and says, "Give me just a mo." And he, hops down out of his chair, he's sitting at a normal-sized desk, so when, he hops down, he just disappears from view. And you see him kind of go off into the, off to the side, pulls open a drawer, flips through a couple bit of leaflets, comes back, and he, has a little step stool to get back up to his chair, and then he plops back down, and it spins around. He goes, "Okay, so, you're all individuals, or do you have one of them group names?"
The Tempest.
What he's saying.
Ooh, the Tempests. A competitor? Maybe I don't want you on me train.
It has nothing to do with the gun company, I can assure you.
Oh, jolly good. And he starts, so, it's the Tempests. Individual names, please. I know you, not you. The other ones I haven't met before. You lunkhead.
Kasumi, Pez, Vanera, Zahn.
He's looking up, scribbling down as you're
Crazy eyes!
You gotta be a little crazy to make guns for a living.
No.
So he's quickly filling those out as you're pointing to people, and looks like he's maybe jotting down a description or whatnot just to make sure. And goes, "I don't remember who was who, but here you go. Good luck.
I will take the slips from him.
The funds will be given to you upon successful delivery to the Locust Harbor."
Thank you very much. Last order of business, we discussed last time you had a experimental weapon.
I vaguely remember this. There's been quite a bit of alcohol in between then and there, but yes, it does ring a bit of too much alcohol. My tongue cannot feel
There's
it.
some alcohol today.
I do not discuss what you do during your day-to-day businesses. Stay out of mine! So, yes, I did mention an experimental firearm. What, you want to buy it from me?
I was more going to offer a favor for a favor. Maybe I could take it for a test run and return it.
He will give you information on how it functions, any problems that he has with it, any things that might come up, or if it functions exactly
Yes. I know what it means to test something, you stupid bunny creature. Shush.
I shake his hand. Thank you.
I don't know why. I'm on a roll with this character. I love this guy.
Well, I'm gonna kill him.
Do
So
not
he
kill
looks
the
at
person
you.
Who gives me shiny weapons?
Here's the problem that I am seeing. I like the offer. Better you than me. In case it blows up, I take no responsibility. However, how can I be sure you aren't just going to take this to one of my competitors? Do you have any collateral? Something to say that you are actually going to bring it back to me? With this information that you say that you're going to collect?
Actually do. And I take out my old shield and put it on the table. This was made in conjunction.
Is this the glass
with-
shield?
This is my original shield.
Okay.
This was handmade by Borgir Thunderbender and one of his Aslan friends. It has a lot of sentimental value for me, and I will be back to retrieve it if this is a satisfactory agreement. I was born with this.
That sounds quite painful, honestly. Might I see it?
I put it on the table.
Oh, okay. So he like pushes down to the edge so it rocks up towards him. And okay. He inspects it for a minute and he seems to be scrutinizing it. And eventually he pulls out a one of those like big get your eye on it kind of like magnifier things. And he's looking at it, looks at it and goes, "Ah! There's the maker's mark. This is authentic. Very interesting indeed." Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I have the bunny if I need to.
You must decide if you're going to use the bunny before you tell me your result.
Correct.
No, there's no correct. I'm telling you.
Okay. So with advantage, would I just roll again and take the one of
So
the three that I like?
the way
or
that
how
the
would that work with
rabbit's
advantage?
foot will work is you roll the 2 dice with advantage. And if you decide that you are not confident or you don't like any of those, you make Zach roll. And then that would still kind of count as like a 3 dice advantage.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and have Zach roll.
Am I adding my persuasion to this?
You were just rolling the dice, and he will add his modifiers to it.
Oh, that's right. I don't add anything to it. Let me send it to him since I'm not supposed to say, I guess.
You can say it for expediency's sake.
18.
18. I'm gonna use the 18 because I have a +0.
Okay. So you, is that a Klondike bar?
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm worried about it. I'm really fucking jealous. You're trying to sneak it past us. You're just little nibble. Okay, so he sits there for a minute, and he's looking at the shield. He's looking at you, and he's looking at the shield. And he's like, "All right, you have yourself a deal. Give me just a mo." And he hops back
Just the mole.
down out of his chair, and he goes through the back. And as the door shuts, you hear in the distance, Calvin! Calvin! And even fainter, like, "What? Get the judge!"
That
So-
sounds a little intimidating.
A few minutes later, he comes back, and you know the size of your revolver, right? From about butt to hilt is about here.
Yeah.
For him, he could hold that with 2 hands, make it look like a rifle. This one comes through the door barrel first, and it's a second or two before he appears. So what you see is a barrel that's twice the length of a normal revolver, and it is thick.
That shit turns heads, baby.
He comes out, and he sort of like clunkily puts it on the table, and he goes, "I'll be right back." Whew.
There's more?
He goes back into the back, And you hear some rummaging like just behind the back side of the door. And he comes back out again, and he's got another box. And he sits it down with a heavy thud. Okay, this is the judge. This is its ammunition. You can't just use any sort of bullets with this one. I've only made 20 of these, so use it sparingly.
Real quick, can I offer a suggestion? You should call the bullets the jury.
They'd be
He
called
like
mice.
reaches up onto his desk with a little thing, and he's like, one more. And he like goes fishing around, and he flicks a gold coin at you for the idea.
Hamburger catches it.
Ooh, impressive little beastie. All right, so this uses high velocity bullets. You look quite strong, so I'm assuming you'll be able to handle it. It's going to kick like a mother. The first time I pulled the trigger, it sent me about 5 feet backwards onto me arse. So, be careful, and let me know.
Out of curiosity, because Brick is like has only eyes for this weapon right now. If I like it and I have good reviews for it, how much is it?
It's a prototype, so I don't really have an answer for it. When and if you come back with the assessments that you give, depending on how they are, we can discuss the possibility of selling to you. However, I wish you luck that it does not explode. I do not have an item made for this yet, so I will have to handle that after the fact. So, is there anything else you need from me before I get back on with my duties?
Satisfied? I look around at everyone else. Anything else anyone wants?
No, good, great, get out.
Thank you, sir. I will be back with a very emphatic review. And I pick up the judge and the ammunition and walk out.
You pick up the jury.
Yes, the judge and the jury.
We can call you the executioner from now on.
Brick goes fancy hammer, the jury's out.
That's no, the execution's the pin's name.
The judge, the jury, and the executioner.
Oh god, we're all fucking nerds. Okay, so you have all exited the Dragon Arms front office. You are now in the middle of the street. Get away! What would you like to do today?
We need our license to kill, so that way.
I don't need a license for that, but
You do here.
technically that's not true. But
I mean, yeah.
Ian, I know you said you don't have an item thing for this yet, but how much damage does this do?
It's been a minute since I've looked at the high velocity.
Oh, it's on the sheet for high velocity.
That is the type of rounds, correct?
Okay, I will look it up then, because
yeah.
I have that.
I did not take great notes when I was creating this the first time around, so I don't want to waste time at the moment story-wise. Yeah. So at the very least, we can circle back later. So you all head off to the left. Zon, you, with your little sixth sense, realize that Brick isn't paying attention. You kind of like grab him by the back and like lead him as he's just like
over here, you
with his gun.
Mentals, man.
Go away.
Fuck you.
So, you all head down the street, hang a left, circling around the Dragon Arms manufacturing complex. You're going on down. You all see the Blue Saloon off to your right. You cross over the bridge towards the Riverstone Jailhouse. And as you were going in towards the... shit, I gotta find the Bounty Hunters Guild. Again, you notice the deputy is coming into the yard. She's kind of yawning. Looks like she has a mug of some sort of steaming liquid. She kind of pauses and looks at you and kind of tips her head, gives you a little salute, and walks on into the sheriff's office. So you go inside to the Bounty Hunters Guild. Okay.
Yes.
Inside, you see Sebs is behind the counter again, and he looks groggy, just kind of like side of his head in his hand, just kind of like one eye half closed, like he's just not quite there yet.
Some of us hitting the steins last night.
Is there any other way to do it? Oh, shite, you're back. Oh, Dakota. Oh, stupid. He waves his hand over the desk, and within a few minutes, the dark-skinned girl comes back out with her little pigtails, and she kind of sees you, and kind of holds up to a finger to Sebs and makes a little hand gesture, and she turns back and he nods. She's getting your chits now. You, Sir Pez, you're going to be getting a new one since you're part of a group now. You can keep the old one if you wish, but you've got an updated version.
Oh, sweet.
I tried to sign the hello to the girl.
She's already turned around and gone into the back room on the right, but when she comes back, she sees you, and she gets this kind of cute smile on her face, kind of showing her teeth that reaches all the way up to her eyes. And she comes back, and she's looking at them, and she walks up and hands you each a little envelope for your chit. And if you open it, you see... Oh, she kind of just sort of giddy claps a little bit. So you open the envelopes. If you decide to open the envelopes, you will see that there's a kind of a letter of welcome. It gives you kind of the rules and guidelines of how things work, how you collect bounties, and what to do if you encounter another group that is in the process of retrieving a bounty and whatnot.
Yes, we kill them and then take the money for ourselves.
No.
What? We are removing the competition.
No.
Are you saying this out loud?
No, this is my head.
So I was going to say, Sebs would be looking at you and correcting you forthwith. But inside, you do see a square metal tag about yay big. For those that are in the podcast version, it's about 1 inch by 2 inches. It has your name, your general appearance, the name of your group. I feel like there was something else, but I'm drawing a blank, and I don't have those kind of notes in front of me. It's more of a like a quick description of who you are, so that it keeps people from being able to just take it and claim that they are you without kind of matching your description. Well, there's nothing else you need. Is that all you need?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boom.
All right. Bounty board's right there. Get started or don't. Good luck. Try not to die. Try not to end up on the board. If you end up on the board, your membership is instantly revoked.
I walk over to the board.
Okay.
Who's on the board?
Are you looking for wanted posters, like bounty hunting, mercenary postings?
Yes.
On the board, you see the names Jesse Bagwell, Jackson LaBelle, Dutch, Ramiro Riviera, Sylvie Adler, Torre the Duke Barbosa, and Lapis Longshot.
Yeah, we're going after the Duke, right? If we take the poster, does that mean that we're the ones going for it? Or is that just like one of those posters that's like, here, take a number?
Are you asking in character or out? So I can...
Out.
Out of character? With asking Sebs real quick and not having to do the voice, essentially the posters are there for you to take, and then you have a kind of reference so that, you know, if you think you see the guy, you can go, get away.
Get the way. How much is he alive?
Alive, 200,000. Dead, 100,000.
Okay. I take the poster. Up neatly.
He glances up and watches you take it and gets real concerned. You're going after the Duke? That's ballsy.
We
We're
will
out
get
traveling,
him.
so
If he is missing a limb or two, is that going to be a problem?
Mm-mm.
Not if he's still breathing.
Ooh. Excuse me.
Well, been nice knowing you.
I'm gonna go up and take Lapis's poster.
Going for the big duo. Duo you are.
Brick is barely paying attention after
Bricks will not
the
save
gold
you,
piece is just
no.
polishing his new gun.
On the Lapis poster, you see wanted for murder, theft, trespassing, larceny, blackmail, alive 50,000, dead 10,000, last seen. There's a bunch of locations on it, and all of them are marked off. And the most recent looking one says near Trentonville.
All right.
Well, anything else I can help you with?
9.
Okay. Good luck. Try not to die. That horse was really
horse?
close. Must be the deputy.
Don't
So-
get shit.
Vanera somehow reached off frame for me and came back with a collar, so that's really weird. Very impressive, like a magic trick.
Bobo's naked now.
You Nicky Bobo.
Bobo.
So, you all leave the Mercenaries Guild. It's still very early in the morning. You've only been walking around for maybe 30, 45 minutes between getting to Dragon Arms, discussing all of that, and then getting back down to the Mercenary Guild. So I would say it's mid-morning, 10, 11-ish.
So Ian, real quick.
Sir.
When you say high velocity, is that the same as high caliber, or is that different?
Again, I'm going to have to check. I really don't remember offhand.
It's fine. Okay.
Rick, stop playing with that or you will go blind.
Bang! Ow!
I just understood. Oh my gosh, that's such that joke. Okay, Zach. Okay.
This is Zach.
Do we still hear commotion going on behind the bar?
If you head up that direction, yes.
Let's go investigate.
And just peek over.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Onward.
Okay.
And upward.
I was trying to look real quick to see if I could find the info on that high velocity, but it could be a typo on my part. So you head around the Broken Bottle Tavern, and you start heading towards the. Well, actually, only two of you have been here in this direction so far. I believe that was Kasumi and Vanera when you went to visit the Swiftly Baked Goods. As you were heading that direction, you see you could see the top of the fountain where you had passed by it before to go to the bakery, but there's a crowd kind of gathered around it. You can't quite make out what's there. Well, actually, whoever wants to make a perception check on this can make a perception check to see what they might see.
Can I make a
15.
perception check to see what I must hear?
Yeah, you can make a perception check based on hearing.
16.
16. Anyone else?
26.
15.
God, I'm not gonna beat a 26. 5.
You
Sorry.
you are a little concerned. You're more concerned with watching Brick as he's like walking and polishing and making sure he doesn't like take somebody out.
Yeah.
Vanera and Brick, as you are... Brick, somehow you're able to split your focus. You're kind of like keeping one eye forward and one eye on your gun. Vanera, you see the top of what looks like a caravan. And Zahn, with that roll, it's even with that roll, it's a little hard to make out. There's just so much chatter and it's all excited. However, as you draw closer and closer to the crowd, you see a familiar large head pop up above the crowd and kind of peer around with one big eye. It is Daisy.
What is Daisy again?
Daisy was the fastieth that pulled
Right.
the merchant's wagon.
Not much, yeah.
So,
Looks like you're in luck, Finian.
I guess so. Speaking of luck,
Brick goes, go away! Brick.
give me back my foot.
Oh, right.
Thank ya.
So, you all head towards the crowd, and it's a very tightly packed crowd. It seems like there's quite a bit of hustle and bustle of people gathered around it. Not all of them seem to be like trying to get inside, but getting a look at this mythical man that everyone in this region seems to know of. So, you are currently behind a crowd of people. What would you like to do?
Shoot my gun.
No!
Everybody down!
Make an intimidation
No,
check.
No.
Oh,
I don't do that.
okay. That's at
I
one
just
point
throw a
here.
hamburger into the crowd.
You do what? Sorry.
I throw a hamburger into the crowd. He'll clear the area.
Okay, so you're all walking forward, and you start kind of discussing like how you're going to get in there, while Pez just yeet. It's like just fluttering through the air. And sure enough, people do kind of turn and see the squawking, feathery teeth and claws coming at them, and they make a hole, and he lands in kind of like, how best to describe the position? He like legs apart, wings out, head down, kind of like at people, and he starts
I'm
like
enjoying this. No.
he
keep
starts sort of
doing
like
the imitation.
stalking forward, kind of like nipping at people's feet, while the rest of you are following him through as Hamburger is the one to make way towards the back of the cart.
Thank you, hamburger.
Let's see. Let me find some good ambiance.
Some
Like
good
200 gold left. Oh no.
mystical.
That's not what I wanted. I
Rick
wanted.
is the poor.
You ain't the poorest, trust me.
Don't worry, we'll all be loaded later.
Plan. If we don't die.
So, outside the wagon, you do not see the merchant, but you see a fairly steady flow of people coming in and out of the curtained back end of it. Far more people going in that should probably be able to fit, but you have been in there before, and you know that the wagon is bigger on the inside than it is outside. That is not the one I meant to click.
It honestly sounded like the leaves on the vine at first, and I was like,
Leaves on the
leaves on the
vine.
vine.
Falling so
Brave
slow.
soldier boy comes marching home.
I'm going to kill you.
Blame
Okay.
Ian.
So as you head inside, once you get past the curtains, all the sound outside seems to immediately dim. There's still a good bit of chatter inside the wagon, and you see the merchant is behind the counter, hands on either side, just beaming ear to ear, just grinning, talking to people, welcoming them, pointing them where they're asking to go. And you see sort of ghostly figures that match the appearance of the merchant, just kind of gliding around, people following, and the wispy creature is like gesturing, and once it seems that they have found what they want, it disappears and reappears somewhere else to help someone again. As soon as he sees you, he immediately forgoes anyone that he was talking to, raises his hand and goes, "Well, well, well. The mighty tempests enter my establishment. Welcome."
Hello.
Greetings.
Well, now
Aye.
don't sound too excited there, Brick. Come on in. Come on, come on, come on. I have some special items for each and every one of you should your pockets allow for it.
Hopefully.
Do tell.
Well, come on back here just a little way so we can get away from the flim-flam rabble-rousers. So, he walks back along the end of the counter that he's standing behind, and there's another curtain, and he holds it open, kind of like flamboyantly, like gestures you all to step inside.
What's inside?
I was about to say, dost thou
Apollo?
steppeth inneth?
Yes.
I step
I
in it.
asserteth myself into the situation.
Do you goose step or you? Sorry. So, stepping inside, he has against one of the walls a variety of displays. On one, there's a small table with a little square kind of square platform with a stick, and on it is a red ring. Next to that, on the same little table, is what looks like a mannequin head. And it has a brown cowboy hat with what looks like a lighter brown shade of leather that look to be in the shape of pincers, with a bit of a dust covering hanging off the sides of it. Next to that is a full-size mannequin with a gorgeous flowing green dress with red accents around the elbows and around the waist. And there's golden armor on the chest, shoulders, and a golden sash down the middle. Looks to be very feminine in make. Behind that, on the wall, appear to be two weapons. One of them, it looks like it's made of bone in the shape of a carnivore's head on the end of a stick. Hanging next to that looks to be the hilt of a sword, but with no blade.
The grabby hand. You just.
No lightsaber.
So,
Horse brick.
I have heard tell of your exploits, and I've been making note of where some of y'all might be lacking just a little bit. So I've gone and done some digging, found some stuff that might interest each of yous individually here. So, and he kind of claps his hands and gestures at the wall. Who would like to see their chosen item first? Brick, you raise your hand?
I would.
Okay.
Of course.
You didn't raise your hand
Oh,
too
man.
quick enough.
So I have words to speak.
To speak with Brick or the merchant?
Merchant.
Oh, okay. So he heads over to the wall and he grabs the sword that has no blade attached to it. Now, this is a bit pricey. We're talking about in the 2,000 gold pieces range. However, I do believe that this here sword might be a perfect fit for you, if y'all's interested.
Always.
So, he takes the sword, grips it in both hands, and he sort of centers himself, squeezes it, an ethereal blue blade appears out of the handle to be about the length of a longsword. Now this here takes a bit of spell learning to do. It's not something, no offense there, Pez. Well, you might actually be able to do this, but I got something special for you. Don't you worry there, little buddy. Take some spell slots to activate it, but it's a pretty nice little sword.
I don't have enough money, but I will be back for it.
What to do?
Yes. Foremost.
Long story short, it cuts things good. If y'all can't pay for it, and he seems to relax in the blade, back into the hilt, just hang on to this here for you until you're able to pay up for it. But just so you know, depending on how many of your How much of your magic you put into this deals more damage. It's very, very nice. Cost me quite a bit of quite a pretty penny. And he hangs it back up on the wall. So,
I'll be back for you.
who might be next here? Vanera. Got just something there for you might like. He goes over and he picks up the red ring. So, this here ring is called Ring of the Split Mind. When you're wearing this thing here, you have advantage on, well, kind of out of character. You have advantage on Constitution saving throws. But the cool little thing about this one, y'all can concentrate on 2 spells at once.
Two concentration spells at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
How much is that?
This here, 15,000 gold pieces. Got quite the bit of enchantment on it.
Okay, well, that one's gonna have to wait. There are other items that I've been looking for.
I'm going to be holding on to all these for y'alls because I like you, and felt it'd be kind of fun to find something specifically tailored to y'all. So he puts it back on the thing. That's 2 of the 5 of yous. Who's next?
As why don't you see what he has for you?
Yeah, all right.
Pull this one up. This time, the merchant heads over and he picks up the hat that's on the mannequin head.
Cowboy hat. Cowboy hat.
This here is the Doom Cowl. I notice y'all have a little issue with the light. This should help you out quite a bit with that. Kind of dims everything around you. It's nothing visually from the outside, but the light won't hurt your eyes so much. Ooh, excuse me. Gives you quite a bit of resistance to heat. You can be out in the hot sun. I mean, you're a reptilian, so that doesn't matter much to you. However, there is one extra bit of information about this here hat. Let me find the specifics for it. Now, this here can only be used, this here feature can only be used once per 7 days. But basically, you take off the hat, speak the command word, turns into a giant scorpion under y'all's control.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Lasts about
Just
8 hours or
imagine-
so.
Just imagine Pez with lightning coming out of his hands. Unlimited power!
How much is that one?
This here is only about 700 gold pieces.
Would you be willing to trade?
Tell you what, let me get through the rest of these descriptions and then we can talk more details, but it does seem like you're interested and I like that. So he puts the hat back down and he kind of like turns around and goes like, and he kind of points at Kasumi and Zahn. Which one of y'all wants to go next, huh?
Fräulein first.
All right. What do you have for me?
He goes and he gestures over to the green dress hanging on the mannequin. Pulling it up.
I was waiting for the dress to be Zahn's.
This here is called the dress of defense. Gives you an increase to y'all's armor. And you can speak the command word. Gives you an extra bonus armor for about 1 minute. However, you can only use this once a day. However,
Okay.
if something's coming at you, you can give yourself a decent little boost in y'all's defense. This here will run you about 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
And when I say an extra boost, it gives you +1 normally. The command word would give you +3 for a minute.
That's not bad.
Okay.
At all.
To your
So
AC.
+3 to the AC.
Correct.
It's only a little bit less than the shield spell.
Shit.
Hey.
Okay. Good to know.
Now, last but not least, we get to you there, Mr. Zahn. Figured this one was right up y'all's alley.
Yo.
Now, I heard tell... Well, let me make sure that this is actually it.
This item. Wait a minute.
Now, I know y'all like to fight, be a bit of a bruiser type. This here is called the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Funny little play on words because it's kind of an axe. Regardless, gives you a bit of extra damage to y'all's attacks. And you can go into a bit of a rampage. You run real fast, knock through some enemies, knock them down, get some extra damage in on them. And while y'all are rampaging, you do extra damage to structures. I heard what you did to that sheriff's office. Y'all could have done this without all the fire.
You
No,
cannot
no,
use that.
no, no, no. That was just him.
No, this was a group effort.
No, it was not.
Group effort. Don't listen to
No.
something silly.
No.
Now this one right here, 3,000 gold pieces. It's quite difficult to get all the bones and enchantments for this one.
It's very interesting. Your frozen sword has been treating me very well.
Glad to hear that. Now, you know y'all might be a little bit short on cash, but I wanted to share these ones with you here. We're going to leave them on special reserve, at least for a good little while, in case someone comes by asking for something specific. However, I have expanded my repertoire outside in the main foyer. Y'all are more than welcome to go and take a look-see. If I'm not available, you may ask one of my floating servants.
Can I ask you to keep an eye out for a specific item or items?
I can certainly attempt to.
Clicks with malicious intent.
What y'all looking for?
You keep an eye out for any type of weapons that are made of ice and or lightning, or have the properties of either or.
What, the one y'all bought from me ain't good enough?
Listen, I'm always looking for something more powerful.
Ah, something more powerful. I understand.
And
I'll see what I can
along-
do. Most of them weapons come from the far north, and they don't often reach down this far, but you never know. I'll keep an eye out for you.
And the same as it has to do with the armor. Any type of armor that is good at resisting melee damage or spells would be a good help.
Don't have too much in the way of armor. Might have a few up front that haven't been purchased up yet. You can always go take a look out there.
If you'll do so.
Vanera, you were looking at me kind of funny. You want a word?
After I'm done shopping.
Shop first, talk later.
Shop first.
Well, all right. Y'all go and please peruse my possessions. Let me know if there's anything that you want some clarification with, within reason. We're a bit busy, so may not be able to answer all y'all's questions in one go.
Well, I have questions.
That is okay.
Item questions or questions?
Item questions.
Okay. Let us begin the shopping montage. Schnell! Okay. We can keep this in character. We can keep this out of character.
Wormling wristlet.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one who saw that.
All right. So you go over and you point out the colorful beaded bracelet hanging from another lovely display behind some glass. And as you're pointing at it and you're turning to ask, and there's already one of his apparitions sitting beside you. And it's weird. It sounds exactly like him, but like just the barest hint of an echo.
Ah, Scheiße, where did you come from?
That there's a wormling wristlet. You take one of them there little beads off, chuck it on the ground, and you get yourself some a little wormling helper.
out of character. What is a wormling again? Is it like a baby dragon?
More or less.
Wormling or
How long does it last? Is it temporary?
The wormling disappears after about 1 hour, or if it drops
Okay.
to 0 hit points. And once the beads are gone, still a pretty cool looking bracelet.
How much?
That right there, 5,000 gold pieces.
Okay, moving on.
Jesus. Well,
As,
maybe
as soon as you say that,
Gloves of
the
healing.
apparition disappears.
No, wait. Gloves of healing.
So you go over to the gloves.
just see Veneer.
It's just all over the place this time.
Rick is doing the same thing.
Yeah, Kasumi's very actively waiting.
Well, if any of
Gosh,
you have
she's so
something, you're gonna have to speak up faster
polishing
than Vanera. So Vanera like dashes off towards another display of these really pretty blue and white. Again, an apparition of the merchant appears. This time it's much smaller and it's sitting on the edge of the display case, but its voice is still as if it's the proper size. While wearing these here gloves, whenever you cast one of y'all's healing spells, that creature or person gets additional hit points back based on y'all's, I don't know how to say this in character, your proficiency bonus.
But I'd say you're also calling it hit points in character. Which
I know,
makes
it's really hard to describe these in a way that makes sense story-wise. So,
How much?
They're healed a little bit
777 gold pieces.
777?
777.
777? If we buy
777.
multiples, do we get our discount again?
Depending on how much y'all get, you're gonna have to talk to the original merchant.
Okay. Can you bring these up to the counter for me?
more. To talk to the original.
I am an ethereal creature. However, he kind
Will
of
you
like...
know who I am?
Calm down,
I am
Ken.
an ethereal creature. However, if y'alls wouldn't interrupt me, and he slaps his hand down on the glass of the case that he's sitting on, and when he pulls his hand back, there's a on hold, like kind of shining text on it.
Thank you.
Arcanist gauntlets.
The what?
The Arcanist gauntlets.
Arcanist gauntlets, please! She rushes over.
So, as you're saying, as you're getting done with this, you hear Brick go, ooh, and you're like, ah! And you go rushing after it. So, let me read through this real quick. While using these gauntlets, you can use the gauntlets as a spellcasting focus while wearing the item. When you cast a spell 1st through 5th, you can choose to roll a d6. If you roll a number on the d6 equal to or greater than the spell slot level, the spell draws on the magic within the gauntlets instead of your own and is cast without expending a spell slot. The slot level must be of a level you can normally cast. It can provide up to 5 levels worth of spell slots in this way each day. So you can cast 1/3 level into 1 level. If the number rolled on the d6 is less than the spell slot level, you cast a spell as normal and expend the spell slot.
How much?
3,456.
Okay.
If you
Good to
don't
know.
have the
Coming
spell
back
slot
for
to
it.
cast the spell fails, and the slot is counted towards the gauntlet's daily provided spell slots.
Good to know.
Doodle ring. Doodle ring.
I think the other one on the first row is the gateway ring. Yeah.
Okay, give me just a second as you head back to the jewelry counter to look at the gateway ring and the doodle ring.
Doodle ring. Doodle ring.
And a shadow
The
ring.
doodle ring
And the
allows you
shadow
to
ring.
draw.
And the shadow ring.
The doodle ring allows you to draw like a first grader for 1 day. You can only be used once per long rest.
Yeah,
You're not that far off. You're really not that far off. Okay, so
Here's a house.
so you you go to the rings, and again another small version of the merchant just is kind of like hands on his hips, sort of like strutting around on top of it, and he sees you guys come closer and goes, "Well, which would you like to see?"
This one, and this one.
That one right there is a gateway ring. We're talking 8,000 gold pieces, but who Woo-wee, does this thing have some cool features to it. Basically, you can speak the ring's command word and toss it into an unoccupied space within 10 feet. The ring expands to a 5-foot circular stone portal. It basically duplicates the effects of the gate spell.
So you're using a sonic ring.
Sure.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, that's well worth 8,000. Jeez. Okay. Is it once per day or once only?
Once the ring has been used, it cannot be used again for 10 days. So it's basically
that's
a once a
fair.
week.
That's very.
It's impressive, though.
He then moves on to the Shadow Ring. Now this thing right here, while wearing this ring, shadows kind of cling to you eerily. It makes you all spoopy and scary and skeletons. When in bright light, you count as being in dim light. When in dim light, you count as being in darkness. Although a creature with dark vision still perceives you as being in dim light. Additionally, if you have the sunlight sensitivity trait, you are unaffected by that trait any longer.
Oh.
That is 3,500 gold pieces. He moves on to the Doodle Ring, which there's quite a few of them around. There's about 7 in the display case. This here ring, while wearing the ring on a finger, you can touch that finger to any solid surface and begin to draw. Drawing uses your finger to make the marks as if it were kind of charcoal, ink, maybe even a paintbrush, depending on your fancy. The markings you make can be in any color. They can be easily smudged away without leaving any marks behind. The ring can have up to 5 square feet covered with drawings in this way at any time. Drawing more than that begins to erase the previous marks, and any mark left after 24 hours of being made is magically erased.
So what I'm hearing
These
is
here
we
are
can
60
make-
gold piece a piece.
But just doodles.
Just doodles for 24 hours.
Just doodles for 24 hours.
So I'm thinking of Wile E. Coyote drawing a.
Yeah,
escape
but
route
only
that
but only
doesn't-
5 square feet.
small thing that people can pretend to run through.
Yes.
There's one more ring that just catches my eye.
Of course.
The Ring of Shrouding.
Okay. This here, while you wear this ring, your facial features become blurred and your voice is a bit distorted. Kind of makes it so you can't be recognized. In addition, a really cool little feature of this one, you do not trigger the alarm spell or other magical senses.
How much?
Now, if you'll not be needing that fun.
This here is only 200 gold pieces.
That's not bad at all, surprisingly.
Really good. While we're in the jewelry section, because I assume this is all together with the jewelry, the cuff of captions and the focus circlet.
Cuff of captions. You see captions on the bottom of your screen.
You joke about that.
No, I'm
Oh,
being serious.
Points to the focus circlet. That right there, pretty simple kind of thing. 300 gold pieces. You put that there on, gives you a bonus to your constitution. So while you're wearing it, you gain a bonus to constitution saving throws that you make to maintain your concentration on a spell that you cast equal to the spell's level up to a maximum of 3. So if you're concentrating on a 3rd level spell, you get a bonus to your constitution saving throws to keep focus.
So it doesn't give you a bonus to Constitution; it's Constitution saving throws.
Sorry, I said constitution. It's bonus to concentration saving throws based on the spell's level. If you're concentrating on a 5th level, you still only get a +3
Interesting. Okay.
to keep your focus. Moving on here to the cuff of captions. While y'all wear this little ear cuff, any audible sound or spoken language that you're within earshot of is magically transcribed, appearing as illusory text that only you can see in the corner of y'all's vision.
So it makes you crazy.
How much?
This here is 700 gold pieces.
How long does it stay?
While wearing the cuff, you get +2 bonus to wisdom checks that rely on hearing, even if you're deafened, as you can sometimes read the transcriptions of sounds that are otherwise inaudible. Transcriptions are written in common and vary in size.
So, like, even if they're speaking Elvish, it's still written in common?
Almost sounds like it's
Yeah.
just the tongue spell, but in the form of an item. With
Yeah.
more things that are awesome about it.
You can choose to ignore certain sounds and transcriptions, causing the text to vanish in order to better focus on the ones you're interested in. It does require attunement, so it's basically
it
just
doesn't have a limit.
subtitles in real life.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Might I inquire about the rings of true companions or companionship?
Da, 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 da. These here ring of the true companions. I'm not going to do the voice for all of us. Good God. You know what? No, I am. Fuck me. While wearing one of the rings, you cannot use the following property even if you... Sorry, you can use the following property even if you aren't attuned to it. When another creature that you could see is also wearing one of these rings drops to 0 hit points, you can use your reaction to cause that creature to drop to 1 hit point instead. Once this is used, it cannot be used until the next dawn. If y'all got more than one of the set, the connection breaks if y'all are more than 1 mile away from each other. While wearing the ring, you can use an action to expend one of its 3 charges to cast the Cure Wounds spell. If the target of the spell is another creature wearing one of the rings, the spell's range is increased to 30 feet. There's a huge amount of text involved with this one. I'm trying to give you the cliff notes to it. The more creatures that are wearing it, the more charges there are. I believe the charges are shared between the connected rings.
Interesting.
So
How
if 4 or
much?
more people, 500 gold pieces per ring.
Bag
But-
of bellstones. Whenever we're done.
Bag of bellstones. This here bag, anything you put inside of it, after being in there for about a minute, turns it into one of these things. You can pick up any sort of rock, toss it in there. Let's see. While a stone is magical in this way, it emits a clear, bell-like ringing sound that is audible out to a range of 60 feet whenever it hits a target or touches an object or surface. Perfect for distractions. 100 gold pieces for the whole bag.
Interesting.
Okay, so sorry. So you take a stone, you put it in there, and then
So long
after
as
a
it's
minute,
in there for a minute, if you take it back
Right.
out and you chuck it, whenever it strikes a surface or a person or target, it makes a bing.
he said 100 gold.
100 gold pieces for the bag.
I take it. Just add it with my stoof.
He slaps the glass again, puts a hold sign on it. So let's see, that was Bellstones, and you were holding on to the Arcanist gloves or the healing gloves?
Healing gloves. Gloves of healing.
All right, anything else anyone was curious in? Speak up, speak up.
What's the Bounder's Ball?
And the Cronal Sphere after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since Venera spoke up first. This here Bounder's Ball, y'all can attach this to essentially any sort of item. And, or if you just want to have the ball, you can throw the ball as well. When you throw the ball, a little spirit of your choice, it could be a spiritual dog, spiritual fox, anything of that nature, it goes after the ball and brings it back to you. Y'all sit there for a moment, attach it to a weapon. You chuck that weapon for whatever reason, it drops out your pocket. Your little friend is gonna into existence, go grab it, and bring it right back to you. 550 gold pieces.
That's not bad. Attaches to weapon, proceeds to hit somebody in the face with weapon, and has it walked back by a little fucking shit.
Yep. It can only be attached to a weapon that has the thrown property.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, technically, any weapon's a thrown weapon.
If you try hard enough.
Exactly.
You know, it's hard to argue your logic there.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't thrown a two-handed hammer before in a campaign.
You'd also be lying if you said you haven't killed something by throwing a beer mug at it before.
Yes, that is also true.
The Cronal Sphere. So you walk up to this glowing metal sphere, or this bronze sphere with looks like two flaming blue lines with numerical numbers on it. This here Cronal Sphere essentially keeps track of the time of day for yous. Y'all are also able to once and only once cast the haste or slow spell with this. Sorry. You have one casting of the haste spell and one casting of the slow spell. Once you use one, it's gone. You still got the other one, but once you use that one, it's gone. And you just got yourself a really fancy looking clock.
So it does not even recharge after the day?
Time spells are tricky. It's already hard enough getting it into a sphere. This one here is 5,000 gold pieces. Now, y'all buy this, you can bring it back and might be able to get some extra charges in it for you.
That is at least useful to know.
The Great Owl Shroud.
Was wondering when you were gonna get to that.
I was making my way,
Making my way downtown.
Walking fast, faces past.
and I'm homebound.
This here cloak has 10 charges, and it regains all expended charges daily at dawn. When you take the attack action while wearing this garment, you can replace one or more of your attacks with a special ranged attack using this cloak, expending one of its charges for each attack you replace. When y'all do, make a little flourish of the cape, release a barrage of magical feathers that fly towards the target. Got a +5 bonus to attack rolls made with the cloak, range of 30 feet, long range of 120. 2d4 plus 3 force damage. After the attack, the feathers vanish. In addition, as a reaction, you can use the Feather Fall spell, only targeting yourself, of course. Once that is used, you cannot use it again till the next day. 650 gold pieces.
That's actually really cheap for what that is.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. One day.
Could I inquire about that helmet with horns? Looks like the Ceratotopper. I can't read because my contacts are bugging out.
Just lick your eyes ball there. You'll be fine.
What's our contacts?
But
My
has he
tongue's
been
dry
able
and
to
I
wear
can't
that?
wet my eye.
Probably adjust them with his eyes or his tongue.
This here helmet's 40,000 gold pieces.
Oh shit!
Gives you bonuses to y'all's armor class. But when you're using it, so long as you move a decent amount of speed, you can charge into people and hurt them with them their horns. Also, once every 2 days, you can use that there polymorph spell, turn yourself into the dinosaur that this helmet represents.
Which is...
A triceratops.
Dumbass.
I'm a Bubzilla!
Secret pocket box.
The secret tunnel.
That is not how you spell pocket.
Ta-da. Phuket.
So poop it box.
The poopet box.
It was more of a pekoket.
The pocket.
Sounds like a nut.
Let's see. This here box can hold up to 20 pounds of material, not exceeding a volume of 2 cubic feet. The box is light as a feather, no matter what you put inside of it. Placing an item inside or retrieving an item requires an action. While the box is locked, no items can be placed inside or retrieved from it. Let's see. It's locked with a tiny brass key. Perception and investigation checks to find the box are made at disadvantage. In order to open the box, the key must be turned in the box's lock at the same time as the box command word is spoken.
How much?
2,500. Extraplane and dimensional things inside of other objects are quite difficult to perform.
I got a list of shit.
Moss hide troll belt, please.
Yep.
There's a shopping spree.
Shopping spree.
Look, I am taking note of everything. Like, okay, gotta get this at some point. Gotta get this at some point.
This here increases y'all's constitution by about 2. Makes you much hardier. Also, if this belt recognizes that you are in danger, you're about half your hit points. At the start of y'all's turn, you get 1d4 plus 1 hit points back.
Is that for only once or as long as you're at half?
So long as you are below half. This property ceases to function for 1 hour if you take acid or fire damage, or until the next dawn if you drop to 0 hit points.
How much?
3,500.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
2 free constitution. What you think it's gonna cost?
Yeah. Also, is that 20? Is that 2 with a maximum of
To
20,
a maximum
or,
of 20.
Okay. The brutal, please.
I noticed that you didn't even attempt the second part of that.
Nope.
I can barely
What
see
is
it.
it?
Makwa Huitil, I think is how it's pronounced.
Gesundheit.
Let's see. It can deal either bludgeoning or slashing damage, depending on how you feel.
Oh.
When you roll a 20 on your attack roll with this magic weapon against a creature, that creature becomes marked for death until the start of your next turn. A marked creature cannot regain hit points, and when the mark ends, that creature takes 1d8 necrotic damage.
And it's only if it had a critical hit.
Correct.
Okay.
Proficiency with a longsword allows you to add your proficiency bonus to the attack roll for any attack you make with it. 300 gold pieces.
That's not bad at all. Weapon of verdict.
Ooh. Do you have one, Pez?
I mean, it was just one of the older items.
I
What you
a
got?
couple of the older items too.
Executioner.
And Vanera, give me one of the ones that you were looking at from older.
Fear jar and enchanted donut.
Fear gas? Is that?
Fear gas, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That enchanted donut is actually what the alchemist was saying that she could do if you were to bring her pastries. So that one technically shouldn't be in his list anymore. That's my mistake.
But what does it do? Sorry.
Oh, right.
I don't
Duh.
remember.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm. Stop yelling at me. When you consume the donut, it increases your movement speed by 10 feet, and you gain a +2 bonus to your attack and damage rolls for 1 hour. Eating another enchanted donut before the end of this effect increases the duration by a further hour. But whenever the effect ends, you suffer a level of exhaustion for each donut consumed.
my
So
God.
you get
So you
increased
become
movement
a
speed and damage for an hour,
You
but
can be-
yes.
Is
Can
the
we roll
maximum donuts 2? Or does this continually compound upon itself?
It would
until you have
technically
reached
go
unlimited
until you
power?
reach the level of exhaustion that would outright kill you.
Which is
I don't remember off the top of my head.
5?
believe it's
Okay,
5.
so 4 donuts is okay.
And
Um,
you have to take
Fine.
4 long rests.
Yeah, you're gonna be cranky. You need a little
Listen,
nap.
if you're gonna kill a god, you need some donuts.
The
I'm
fear
actually
gas
one of the
is a wisdom saving throw. I actually have a typo in this. On a failure, the creature imagines it is seeing its worst fears within the gas cloud, drops whatever it is holding, and becomes frightened of what it sees for 1 minute. The frightened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. 1,500 gold pieces.
But just to clarify, so when you eat multiple donuts, it just adds an extra. It adds an extra hour, so it's not like duplicating the effects. It just makes it last longer.
I heard that it's duplicating the effects.
Plus 8 to damage and hit, and plus 40%.
Let me recheck that.
No.
I was gonna say.
No.
It's
That
like
sounds a
someone's
little
running
OP.
70 feet in one direction. You see that guy over there?
Nope, increases
What's up,
the
bro?
duration by a further hour.
Oh.
Damn it. That's
Yeah.
no fun.
I was about to be like, this donut's about to be min-max.
How much are they, by the way?
Ah, damn it! I just closed it again. Idiot.
I'm sorry.
Also,
200
Zach,
gold
wanna let you know,
pieces.
It's a 6th level exhaustion is death. Up at 5 levels of exhaustion, you have disadvantage on literally everything. Your speed is 0, and you have your hit points are halved.
So when I throw whatever 5 days worth of gold is at the innkeepers, don't wake me up.
The Executioner has 3 charges. While loaded, you can use... It's a crossbow, by the way. You can use an action and expend 1 charge to use the weapon's alternate fire mode. The Executioner consumes its loaded ammunition, causing the skull to exhale a breath of acidic vapor in a 15-foot cone. The creature must make a dexterity saving throw or be covered in acid for 1 minute, or until the creature uses its action to clean the acid off. It takes 1d4 acid damage at the start of each of its turns. The weapon regains all expended charges at dusk. It does use a
Is it
special kind of
everything-
ammunition, and they can be purchased along with the weapon. Proficiency with the hand crossbow allows you to have proficiency to the attack rolls.
So, question about that. So you
Sorry,
said
real
that it
quick,
cons-
2,500 gold pieces.
So you said that it breathes acid and does 1d4 acid. So does it do the base weapons damage and then that acid on top of that, or
No. It spouts out
So it
the
just does
cone
1d4
of acidic vapor. That is its action. If you are not consuming its or using its action, it is a normal crossbow. And
does it have a limit of how many things it can hit?
anything in that 15-foot cone.
Okay.
The weapon of verdict, a larger visage of the merchant gestures at the weapon. This here is actually just a representation. We have recently learned how to put this on essentially any sort of weapon. Y'all must be good creature. Can't be any of them evil little bastards, or you won't be able to use it. It's got 3 charges. It regains charges daily at dawn. You got to see how many. It's 1d3 charges daily at dawn. You can use these charges to create the following effects. You got Condemn. When you hit a creature with this weapon, you expend 1 of its charges to deal an extra 1d8 fire damage to the target. Or Command. As an action, you can expend 1 charge to touch a creature other than yourself with this weapon to restore 1d8 plus 2 hit points to that creature.
And you can put that on any weapon?
Within reason, can't really put enchantments on top of enchantments. It would have to be a new weapon. But if y'all prefer a hammer, we can get you a hammer. You prefer a sword, we can get you a sword. Rapier, that sort of thing. Gotta be a melee weapon. Sorry, Dev. And he kind of...
Zahn just looks at his ice sword and just is all of a sudden disappointed that it cannot be on fire at the same time as frozen. I'm about to hit you with this oxymoron, and I don't know what the shit's gonna happen.
How much? And then Titan's Tooth.
Whoops, I actually don't have a price on that. I'm gonna have to go and.
Free! It's free. Everything must go.
It is not.
No price.
Give me just a second. What the fuck? Why is it not there? Oh, because it's in here for whatever fucking reason. Or it's not. Cool. I don't know where my chart went. That's awesome. Good job, me. Proud of me.
You're fantastic.
Oh, here we go.
Don't.
That'd be about 500 gold pieces for just the enchantment, plus whatever the cost of the weapon will be.
It's not bad.
And what was the other item?
Titan's Tooth.
Titan's Tooth.
And then I'll also finish it off. I think mine will be good for a bit. I'll let other people do the after the Wyvern Plate as well.
That there Titan's Tooth, 25,000 gold pieces. You can gasp all you want, but there was a lot of effort to get that thing out of the creature's mouth.
I bet.
You have to have a strength score of 17 or higher to wield the weapon.
Oh, it's a weapon. Oh, okay.
But it gives you a +2 to attack and damage rolls, and deals an extra 2d6 bludgeoning damage to any object or structure it hits.
It's a +2 enchanted weapon, and then well, that's pretty neat.
It's a +2 enchanted weapon and I forget what it's called, like a siege engine type.
A siege weapon.
Yeah.
The Wyvern Plate. You can
have
hold.
a wall?
While you're attuned to it, you can hold your breath at any point to both lighten the armor and quiet its clattering, negating the usual disadvantage imposed on dexterity checks by half plate. If you speak while holding your breath, whether it be to your party or to cast a spell, you will need to stand still until you can take another breath in order to retain the previous stealth roll you made. In addition, if you are falling while wearing the armor, you can use your reaction to cast Featherfall, targeting only yourself.
So
4,300 gold pieces.
So Brick gets that 24/7 because he doesn't breathe.
Pretty much.
So I'm sitting here like, when you hold your breath, I'm sitting here like, does the robot have
I
lungs?
would still argue that the speak while holding your breath would still be part of that.
You just can't talk.
Correct. Anything else anyone had?
I'm sorry, I've been
Jar?
a hog. I will.
Go ahead.
You good?
Yeah, sorry, I've been hogging it. You go ahead.
You sure? Because Veneer just wants everything. Jar of Capturing and Bowl of Whisperfish.
Blurble, blurble, blurble.
Blurble, blurble, blurble.
The fish
Okay.
whispered to you.
Jar of Capturing. You can use this enchanted jar as an action to target a beast that has a challenge rating of 1 or lower you can see within 30 feet. They must make a wisdom saving throw, or they are shrunk down to a size to fit within the jar and teleported inside. The creature can choose to fail this saving throw. While inside the jar, no time passes for the creature. It cannot be affected by any force outside the jar. You can open or break the jar to release it to its normal size within 30 feet. The beast is released, and it is under your control for 10 minutes as if affected by the Dominate Beast spell. 1,000 gold.
It's literally a Pokeball.
It's literally a Pokeball. It's a Poke jar.
What's the species rating of a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Not one.
It's not
Not
one.
one. God damn it.
We can, if
How
you
much
are
is that?
interested, we can discuss. It's 1,000 gold pieces.
1,000. Okay.
The Bowl of Whisperfish contains a certain number of essentially goldfish on the inside. As a bonus action, you can take the Whisperfish out and put it in your ear. While it is in your ear, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also hear
Spoken?
words spoken by...
Read.
Spoken. You also hear any words spoken by any other creature within 1 mile that also has a Whisperfish in its ear. It can survive indefinitely in your ear, but if it is removed, it must be submerged in water within a minute or it dies.
This is the most fucked up thing.
Much.
You can have a fucking fish in your ear all of a second. You hear boop. You just hear blurble, blurble, blurble.
3,000 gold pieces for the jar.
Yeah, okay.
Could Brick just turn part of his head into a fishbowl?
Ooh.
There need to be some tinkering, but I don't see why
Like,
not.
Can his like calf just be like fishbowl?
His.
His eyes are now see-through, and you can see the.
I was
fish
gonna
swimming
say
behind him.
you start seeing some glass, and it just sort of like wandering through his body, just like. Whoa! I like the
It's a
eyeball bit though.
babblefish.
It is a babblefish.
Cool.
Yeah. The
Just-
Tower of Babblefish.
Just the thought of putting like a slimy fish in my ear.
No.
Ugh.
Listen, I probably wouldn't feel it because the ear's just so big, but fuck no. Take too nice care of my fur for that shit.
Anything else? As we are now 2 hours into the shopping spree.
Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
we are.
That's
Need
fine.
a little bit of a
I'm
stretch.
good.
Rapier of Kleptomaniac
Oh, okay.
I forgot what kleptomaniac
means I steal shit.
Howard!
As you approach this, you notice that it is behind a lot more protection than the other items. And as you're walking up to it, looking at it with interest, the actual merchant appears beside you. He puts his hand on the cage. It's like, this here sword might be a little bit too far out of your capabilities at the moment, unless you know someone that might be able to remove a curse.
Do tell.
Essentially, anytime you hear about anything that's worth it, you cannot stop yourself from wanting to steal it. You will do anything you can to get whatever you, even if someone whispers about something of wealth, you can't stop.
I can technically remove curses.
How so?
I know this spell remove curse.
Do you actually know that spell? That's awesome.
I do. I just have to take a side shift and go to sleep. And I can swap over to it.
What level is that spell?
Third level? Yeah, third level.
Well, I'll be damned.
Would you like me to return tomorrow and remove the curse for you? I
kinda-
promise it will be worth it.
He kind of looks at you for a second. Make a persuasion check.
Oh, let me make a persuasion check. Hold on a second, let me get back to my page real quick because like remove curses. I'm like, I could have sworn a day or two ago I was looking over that, and I'm pretty sure I had that. Persuasion. That's actually pretty good. Yes! Natural 25. Sorry.
Tell you
showing this
what.
to me.
Y'all can come in and take off that there curse. And he kind of like leans down. And cause I like y'all, cut the cost of it in half. 1,000 gold pieces.
Now, here's my next question for you. Besides giving the urge to steal, if that's the curse, once that's removed, what else does it do?
Well, now you're gonna like this part right here. So, y'all roll a natural 20 on any of y'all's attack rolls. This is super fucking dumb. All coins, valuables, and magical items the target is carrying are magically teleported into your pocket, backpacks, or other containers on your person. Any
guys want me to
items
buy
that
the
you do
sword?
not have the space for appear in a pile at y'all's feet.
I want it!
It
How
gives you
much?
proficiency in sleight of hand and a +1 to checks that require a skill if you were already proficient.
Okay, so you said it was 1,000 after the discount?
Correct.
Okay.
Do you need me to remove any other curses that you might have in here?
I can't be going and giving y'all discounts on everything. Some
Oh,
people
I
like the
don't-
challenge of removing the curses.
We're also buying some other things. Could that be included discount wise too? Please.
Are y'all done shopping? You know what y'all want?
2 hours into shopping spree. Are you done?
I'm
I did have two more.
God damn it!
done.
All
How
right.
much money do you have?
He doesn't.
Not enough.
Rick doesn't have anything.
Okay, what? What? Hurry. What?
The Medusa and the Dragon Eye. I was curious about those. I just want to know what they are because I'm not buying anything today. I don't have the money. I just want to have a plan.
God,
in
you're a
mind
fucking
with
waste of
that.
time.
You're one
I
of those
have two
window
dragon
shoppers.
eyes.
I
That's what
am.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
We actually,
Pez already
Pez-
has
Pez-
dragon eyes.
Has
Yeah.
this dragon
what-
eyes.
what was that one?
Ooh.
The dragon eyes. You can swallow it, and
Oh yeah, we got it to make a hamburger fly, didn't we? And breathe fire.
correct.
Oh, okay. What's Medusa eye do?
Correct.
Okay.
Let me see. Creature must make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails by 5 or more, it is instantly petrified. Otherwise, the creature that fails to save begins to turn to stone and is restrained. It must repeat the saving throw in its next turn. It's basically the petrification spell.
Okay. Is it like they have to look at it, or how does it work?
Well, you don't actually see the Medusa eye as it's wrapped in night cloth, but you can uncover the eye, pointing it in the direction of your choice. Each creature in a 30-foot cone that can see the eye must make the Constitution saving throw. Once activated, the eye cannot be used again unless recharged at the resting place of a deceased or petrified Medusa.
That's specific. Okay. Sorry.
And you've heard what the dragon eye.
Dragon Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fly and breathe fire. Got it.
Yep. So, I see that y'all have put down some hold on to kind of items. Is that all you're looking for?
If we can remove the curse, I'll take the rapier of kleptomaniac.
Don't fake assuming I have you covered.
Okay. So, what's the full list of everything that you are wanting to buy?
Zahn has leverage.
So it's the klepto, it's the bellstone.
Yeah, I have the bellstone and the
Healing
Gloves of
gloves.
healing gloves.
Was
What
there
if it's something
any?
else?
I know
No,
you were
I didn't think
excited
so.
about the doodle ring, but I don't know if you said that you
No,
wanted.
I didn't get the doodle ring. I was excited about the box, pocket box. I think that was too expensive.
It was 2,500 if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
The only thing I'm interested is the helmet that lets you turn into a trike.
You don't have that money.
Expensive.
I was about to say, how much was that again?
Let's go get the
40.
40,000.
Holy shit.
How much did it say the Duke alive was like 200,000, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So
go
if
get
we
the Duke and come back.
I was about to say, you'll have exactly how much you need.
Like half the bounty right there.
Remember, he doesn't have to be completely controlled. I'll just cut his legs off so he can't run.
Yeah, but he has to be alive.
Yeah, it's okay. I will bandage up his legs. It'll be fine.
So, he has a few of his spectral helpers bring over the items. Y'all just interested in these three here? So, all in all, if we're including y'all's assistance in removing the curse of this, bring that down to 1,000, and add the others, we're looking at 1,877 gold pieces.
Would you be able to add in that hat that you showed in the back room?
That there Dune cow?
Hmm.
Well, with
Powers of
the
the Scorpion King.
addition of that, that's another 700 gold pieces. Yeah, well, my brain is too fried to do math. Christ on a bike. That brings up the total to 2577.
Would I be able to offer a little bit of trade to knock that price down?
Sure, what you looking to trade with me there, little Pez?
Well, I mean, I've been holding on to this, but this here jar of fireflies that you got me originally, I really don't have much of a use for it. So you think I could give this back and see if that'll knock down the price?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that didn't work out too well for you. I can certainly take that back, and appears to be unopened, so unfortunately that's only going to take about 50 gold pieces off of it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's something.
Oh,
So that brings it back down to 2527.
is that with a buying discount?
Well, now we haven't discussed any discounts apart from trading and doing the curse removal of y'all's item.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all gonna try to persuade me for this discount? What's in it for me? I mean, I got a business to run here too.
Yeah, but we're spending lots of monies and you like us.
We're your best customers.
We are your best customers.
I could also give you one of my dragon eyes. I have 2 of them. I was going to feed them both at the same time to hamburger. I might explode.
Hamburger eats both and just sits there and expands like a balloon. and just
Vibrates.
pops.
Just- He just. You know what? Y'all hang on to them dragon eyes and let me know how that goes, because that sounds fucking hilarious. Make a persuasion check. One of you.
Ew. I do it. 18.
18. He's jingling his pockets.
Good thing it wasn't me.
It saw that roll.
Tell you what. Since I know y'all are going after yourselves a big bounty, kind of want to help y'all along your way so you can come back and spend more money with me.
See?
We'll make that an even 2K.
I'll help pay.
And I open up my pocketbook to hand you 1 gold and 9 silver.
I mean, the majority of that was mine, so
And I've got my 1K.
yeah.
I still hand you my money.
It's a fly comes out of the wallet afterwards.
I eat it.
Little moth is.
Scheiße. What the hell?
So you all are able to pony up.
Yeah. I'll throw. It's 2K?
2K even.
Okay, so I'll throw in 1K.
Yep. I'm paying for mine, which is 1K.
Do you want us to take this order if I coming back tomorrow and doing it for you there?
Y'all are paid for it at this point. To do with what y'all want.
I
so.
don't want to take it with us until it's no longer cursed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That would not be good.
so is it like, does the curse work if you're like if it's in a bag?
I mean, it's a
Uh,
staff. You can't exactly, or a rapier. You can't exactly put it in a bag.
You can store it on him.
That is a lie, and you know it. Kelpie would be disappointed in you.
I don't have a bag of holding yet.
And you will never will with that mentality.
I'm trying. Don't worry about it.
He goes and collects the rapier, and he touches it like normal, and it doesn't seem to really do anything to him. If y'all are worried I can just wrap it up, I'll be here for another day or so if y'all want to come back, or you can take it as is, and so long as you don't become too familiar with it, won't be a problem. You would have to attune to the weapon.
I
Okay.
will hold on to it until the curse is.
Sorry,
Okay.
you guys will, or the merchant will?
I will hold on to it.
Okay. So, all of those items should be available to add to your inventories in D&D Beyond.
Oh, what did I get?
You got the healing gloves and the bellstones. Pez, you were looking for the Dune cowl.
Mhm.
And Kasumi knows what she got. You know what you did.
Yeah,
Gloves of healing.
I know.
Don't worry, I'll really enjoy removing that curse. I'll remove that curse with extreme prejudice.
Bag
I
of
just-
bellstones.
Can't wait to see the piles of coins below my enemies.
Stab.
Now,
Well, below your
Kasumi,
feet,
the
actually.
condition. Kasumi, the condition for me doing this for you is 10% of anything you get I want.
I will give you a tip.
Eh,
The tip of my rapier!
you're welcome to try it. Kill you.
So, is that...
Yes, I'll-
God, I'm piggybacking off of Zahn's accent. If y'all ain't got no more business, I do have a caravan full of people vying for my attentions.
Mhm.
Is there anything
That's
else
right.
y'all need?
That is it for now, as long as you can keep an eye out for the specific items that I asked for.
Oh, I'll be keeping an eye out. Don't y'all worry.
I appreciate the effort.
Real quick question. What's the activation word for Mr. Snippy Snippy?
How do you say you threw it?
Honestly, didn't think that far, so we'll let you
I
come up
literally
with
thought
it.
you said you threw it on the ground and it turns into.
You have to speak the activation word.
Ah, there you go. Never mind.
Dealer's choice, honestly. Whatever's going to be fun for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can come up with something if you're drawing a blank, but
if Pez having the power of summoning the Scorpion King's fucking hysterical.
so you all leave the caravan.
Yes. I think that is all we need. Does anybody else need to look around? Have you
Have
bit?
words with him.
I think we shall go outside then.
Okay. As the rest of you step outside the wagon, and Vanera kind of gives the merchant a bit of a look, he kind of walks back, holds open the curtain, and gestures for you to go inside.
Do not do anything I wouldn't do.
I
was
go
that?
inside.
Okay. You go inside, the curtain closes, and that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh my god, I have to pee!
Okay, we'll be back in just a few moments.
Ladder's about to. We have returned.
Und wir back. I feel better. So, the merchant has brought Vanera into the back to Sprechen.
Sprechen.
The Deutsch.
Sprechen
I
is
am
Deutsch.
tempted to have the other players deafen themselves for this conversation if Kelpie wants it to be private. Not Kelpie,
Excuse
I'm
me?
sorry, Vanera. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Wow. Oh, I really don't care.
Okay, then all y'all hush up. So, the curtain closes, and he kind of looks back for a second, and he waves his hand over the curtain. There's a bit of a shimmering that happens there. And as he turns back, his merchant facade drops again. And he's in more rustic attire than his normal gentlemanly getup. So y'all wanted to talk to me in private there, Vanera.
You got here fast.
I was nearby.
Are you following us?
Not my fault y'all are heading in the same rotation I normally take.
I don't believe you.
Y'all don't have to believe me.
Any word from Nefeli?
She's glad to hear y'all are alright. She misses you something fierce. But she's keeping an eye on you when she can.
That's good. She's gonna hold out the journal. How do I translate this?
That dumb beats the hell out of me. That might be something you want to talk to Nefeli or Kadal about.
You know nothing that could help me?
It's a book to me. I ain't knowing anything about what was put into it. That was kind of before my time, really.
Have you seen the journal? Have I shown you it before?
Kadal used to carry it around all the time.
Where's he been?
Up yonder in his territory, up in the Nightly Kingdoms. We all keep to our general regions of the old planet we're living on.
Okay. You just got here mighty fast. I was suspicious.
Have y'all seen that fast yet? It don't get that name for no good reason. Kind of the reason they race them around the oasis, too. It's small. They're fast as hell when they're small. You get a big one like Daisy. Whoo!
How do we take down a T-Rex?
You shoot it? Stab it? Same as any other living creature. You just beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from its mouth.
Well, I figured that I was just gonna jump right in and then try and go that way, but you know.
I mean, if you can avoid the teeth and you can get it from the inside, that's one shitty way to go, really.
Yeah.
Not like that, but...
Do you know who this Duke person is?
Sure I do. Everybody knows the Duke. Mean old orc son bitch.
Any advice?
Gang up on him. Don't hold back nothing.
I don't know how I'm gonna keep them alive.
I believe in you. The fella gave you all the tools y'all need.
I guess we'll try our best. Guess it's all we really can do. They're strong. We'll get it done.
What I understand from what I've been hearing, it's going to be 6-on-1. It's pretty decent odds there if you ask me, even for the Duke.
Yeah, but doesn't he have his T-Rex?
He's got his T-Rex, but he's going to be attacking a train, ain't he?
Yeah.
Can't exactly fit a T-Rex on a train.
Yeah, but you can fit his T-Rex beside a train.
Divide and conquer.
Can't divide them. Well, I guess that was all. Yeah.
Wish I could help you more, but there's only so much we can intercede, really.
Nah, that's okay. We'll figure it out.
Y'all got
I'll-
this.
I'll keep him alive. Yeah, I think that was all that I needed.
All right. He kind of steps in and looks like he wants to give you a hug.
Gives him a hug.
Gives you a hug, little head pats. Kind of gives. Yum, 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 yum. And as he releases you from the hug, he's already back in his top hat, fancy jacket, button-up shirt, and tie. He pulls the curtain open to let you back out. So, do you leave the wagon to join your fellows?
Yeah, I wave goodbye.
Y'all come back now.
No, I'm sure we will.
Okay, so
I feed
You-
this in.
you all exit the you exit his shop, and as soon as you pass through the curtains, the sound of the bustling city sort of assails your eardrums all of a sudden, as it had been
Oh, God.
fairly dampened and quiet and muffled inside the caravan.
Oh man.
So, you step outside. You were in there for hour and a half, 2 hours. It's a little bit after lunch. Stomachs are starting to grumble. So,
We
what would you
still
all like
have
to
all
do?
those pastries.
Mm-hmm.
Does my cowl require attunement?
If it does, it will say it. If it does not, then no.
Yes, it does.
There you go.
Yes, it does.
Moo.
How long does it take to attune again? Like an hour?
I believe I put it in the description of the item. Let me check.
Attunement is usually an hour because it's a short rest.
Yeah, short rest.
It's a short rest.
That's
You
right.
have
Yeah.
to take.
Requires attunement by 1 hour.
Okay.
It's the dude in the background.
He's auctioning. It is a hustling, bustling city. Quit making fun of the townsfolk.
Like Zon's walking past.
Make fun of people. That's rude.
Can tell me what to do. You sound funny.
As you say this, a voice speaks up from behind you. You sound funny.
Ah, scheiße.
Lapis has appeared at your shoulder, appearing in her, God, I forgot what I said that she looked like, in her red-headed counterpart, but still wearing the same purplish blue cloak with gold trimmings to it. It seems you all have been a little busy. Did you enjoy yourselves in the merchant's cart?
Yes. Sorry. The yellow is coming back.
Zahn just bursts out into laughter again out of nowhere. And, well, it seems like you are all enjoying yourself. I assume you have been working on a plan for this. Should we perhaps go and get some lunch? Discuss my treat?
Wait, did you say free food?
Within reason.
Oh. Well, within reason, why not?
Well, off we go. She starts walking towards the Broken Bottle Tavern where you had eaten before. So, you all enter the Broken Tavern. You find yourself a table, away from the cows and the hagglers. So, you all sit down, order some food, order some drinks. Lapis is paying for the ordeal that Zahn is about to
Demolish.
So, I have heard through various means of mine that you have been quite busy. Have you thought of anything for how we want to handle you-know-who the day after next?
Well, we might have acquired some assistance that could help.
Indeed, do tell.
The locals, the local thieves guild. We have become acquainted with them and did a small favor to gain their assistance in taking down the Duke.
Excuse me, that was no small favor. Thank you very much.
Yes, minor crater building favor. But from what I remember, we discussed having them assist us. And, I think
They are-
eventually...
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was gonna say, I think what we're still going to do is have some of us be in disguise with the Duke, and the rest in hiding, waiting.
Interesting. Hiding in what way?
If you'll be on the train.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I feel like I have been left out of the loop. Would you please explain the entirety of your plan?
So we are going to have a couple of us still in disguise as some of the original members. So I think it's just Brick and I that are going to be in the disguises as discussed earlier. And then we are going to have a few of the Thieves Guild members disguised as the rest of them.
Interesting.
And then I think everyone else, I think you guys are going to be spreading out amongst the train, pretending to be attendants and.
Well, we have official slips to be on the train as employed by Dragon Arms.
I will do my best Kool-Aid Man impression.
See,
Cease.
no, what I'm imagining now is SpongeBob when he first hears Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and he like hits the wall and he slowly, boom. I see. That is not a bad idea. I did not know the river rats to be combative. Would they be helping us in fighting?
They are only available
Not
for the
quite.
deception.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
They're
Yeah,
more
they're
like the
for
cowards
appearances.
they are.
honestly, I cannot blame them considering who we are going up against. However, the plan does not sound terrible. He will have to dismount from his creature to get onto the train, and that will be the best time to take care of him. In the times that we have taken out trains before, his mount is trained to run alongside the engine and do nothing more until the train is stopped. So, I suppose that will be the time to take him out before he can stop it, keeping his beastie from being able to do much damage.
And if things go according to plan, I still have the gaseous shot.
Mm-hmm.
You all can be long-range fighters, and I will keep him occupied in a less than savory position for himself. If it falls apart a little bit, that's fine as well, but I believe I should be able to serve as a good shield while you all dogpile him from afar.
Now,
I'm going to punch him in the face.
I must ask, what is the intent? Are you going to try to take him alive? Or... She even looks over at you, Pez, as you nod in affirmation. She kind of squints at you for a moment, but then smiles, and you have grown.
Nobody
Thankfully, you
deserves
have.
to die.
That is not true at all.
In this instant moment, I would have to agree with Zahn. However, seeing receive his just punishment, I suppose I can live with that.
It's okay. I have been told it's okay if I cut off a leg or two, as long as he is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
This I can also agree with. He is very tricky.
He will also be very, well, I can't say dead, but he will be
Wishing
almost
he-
very dead.
Shall we say wishing he was so?
Eh. I've been enjoying watching him hang.
Very well. If my intel is correct, the train is to leave sometime before midday. It must wait here for a time before the train coming in has a chance to get off the tracks, shall we say? No, not that. I don't even know. What? Why?
No, it's couples.
What?
Zahn
was making a rude gesture.
Oh, I actually wasn't. I was like, because the train cars usually they couple.
Yeah, but anyway.
Whoopsie. This is my bad.
So, if I am to make a suggestion, those of us who are leaving to be in the disguises should leave earlier in the morning to a rendezvous.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be there around the time that the train should arrive so the Duke has less time to notice our deception. If we get there and we can time it right, he will have no choice but to immediately enact his plan and hopefully not notice what we are attempting. The rest of you will be on the train. Hope all goes well.
I will need, if you are available, to accompany to the rat's lair. I need to show them how two more people look, and you can give pointers on how they act and talk.
Very well. I do believe that can be arranged so long as you know how to get in.
Yeah, I can go along with as well. I do have a question.
Of course.
So, you mentioned that his mount is familiar with the instructions, how he has to run alongside the engine. Do you know from your experience with the Duke, is he able to command his mount verbally?
Very limited instructions. It is trained who to trust, who not to trust. You kept their clothes, yes?
I think so.
We kept everything
kept
other
their
than the
clothes.
specific armor. Yeah.
There's a chance, mind you, if you have the clothes on you, his creature may confuse your scent between friend and foe, could potentially hesitate. It is not for sure. It has been some time since they were worn by their original owners. It's hard to say, but it is a chance.
Okay.
Otherwise, there is the normal commands: attack, stay, come, go. Honestly, I do not know everything he has trained the beastie. It is not the smartest creature, but simple words and a lifetime of being under his thumb. I have no way of knowing.
My thought was, once we made our move, and attacked, if he would be able to shout out a command to his mount.
It is possible. Anything can happen in the heat of the moment. It is
I
the
can
same as if
technically
my dear
stop.
brother Pez is to issue a command to Hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say if he told it to do a somersault that it could, or that it would be able to hear it over the roar of the engine, or combat.
Right.
So. Well, the day is halfway through. Shall we adjourn to the river rats and...
I had a question.
Yes, dear brother.
How can we clear your name and get this bounty off your head?
This I do not know, though I have been thinking about it quite a bit.
Does the bounty extend past the borders of this region?
A little louder, it's kind of hard to hear.
Does the bounty extend past the borders of this region?
No, not in a sense. It is usually only good for being here in the purview of the Bounty Hunters Guild.
Tez, I have a question for you.
Hmm?
When a bounty is brought in dead,
Mhm.
what is the process for the body? Are you familiar?
Well, I assume DM.
I knew that was fucking coming. It's usually if they are brought in dead, the entirety of the body is preferable. But even then, sometimes in the heat of combat, things can happen. The chunks of the head are blown off. The head is removed entirely. Essentially, anything that is discerning for the bounty, if there's no option, so long as it can somehow be confirmed, proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
I mean, that kind of brings up an interesting suggestion, because seeing that you are a dragonborn and knowing a little bit about your physiology, let's say on accident the T-Rex kind of eats you but leaves the tail. We could take your tail in and say, oh no, she got eaten by the T-Rex. Here's her tail. Bounty's ours.
My
Is that-
suggestion was similar,
Oh?
although we might be able to take the body of a fallen during the combat and disguise it as her and see if that'll work to fake her death.
This is also assuming that there is another dragonborn of my color on the train.
That
Or
was
with
my mistake.
magic.
Well, they will probably perform an autopsy.
Do they, though?
I do believe that the mercenary guild is far smarter than allowing a simple disguise spell to turn in a bounty.
And again, like the whole tail thing was just a idea. I know you're very fond of your tail. I mean, I'm fond of mine.
And I hold it up and it's just broken in like 50 places.
I am not a fan of that particular option.
Does it not grow back?
Not for everyone. And it is not something that I would assume is easily discernible. It could be any
Oh.
dragonborn's tail. How do they know it is the one and only?
I mean, I have yet to see any other dragonborn that's as beautiful as you.
I do
Suck
appreciate
up.
your flattery. They would only be seeing my tail. I do not believe they would accept a beautiful tail.
And I'm guessing you can't grow heads back.
No.
Can you?
I've never tried.
You want to try?
Would you like to? Let us save that discussion for later. I have plans and wishes for when this is done. But first things first. This is all a moot point if I do not survive the encounter or we are unsuccessful.
I mean, you will survive. I'll make sure of that.
So you say.
You put far too little faith in us.
You are dangerously underestimating the Duke.
Ah. You say that.
You have not seen him. You do not know.
Oh. I believe he is very dangerous.
So,
Oh, shit.
my body itches for action. Let us go speak with the river rats.
Pretty sure they make a powder for that.
Has it been an hour, by the way?
Yeah, you've been speaking for a little bit, and I'll say that by the time you get to the, well,
I mean, if not, it's fine. I'll attune to it later.
yeah, I would say that between traveling there, eating, and discussing, it's been close, but not quite. Technically speaking, if you didn't want to go to the river rats with them, you could stay and finish your short rest in the tavern with anyone else that doesn't want to go. If it's just going to be Kasumi and Sage, then the rest of you can do other things, or if more than one of you want to
I gotta
go.
too.
I was about to say, aren't there hookers in the bar?
Yes.
I'm
Love
going
the
to
bar.
take Brick to see the hooker.
Well, I'm already going because I gotta go
He's
to
got
show
more important things to do.
the
Silence you! I will tell you what my son will do.
To show what?
to show the silent illusion versions of them, so they get like
Okay.
a good profile.
I don't know how, but you've gotten quieter.
Did I do something?
Yes, you got quieter. He just said that.
I might be sitting back more. Hold on. How is this?
Well, now your forehead's blocked.
It's okay. It was big
Your
anyway.
beautiful forehead. No.
So I was gonna make it sort of a. Is there anything other than giving the descriptions of the other members that you wanted to discuss? Okay, then for the sake of brevity, since we are running a bit long tonight, Kasumi leads the way down to the River Rat's sanctum. The password is the same to open the door. Zon, if you're just staying for the hookers, you can stay for the hookers. Okay. So as soon as you walk inside, he immediately hangs like a sharp right turn, doing a Night at the Roxbury dance, and starts going for some ladies. The three of you, Brick, Kasumi, and Lapis, go down below. She gives a better description, mannerisms, and such. Once she's past the doorway, she drops her guys, so she looks as she's going to look for the event. They discuss when they're going to meet with the thieves and what the general plan is. And if there's nothing else you would like to do, then when you come back up, Zon is sitting at a table with a girl on each arm, just sitting down, having a drink, chatting them up. They're a little bit bigger,
Ladies.
and chest height is about head height. So,
You can't hear, but my earphones are squeaky when I'm not. It just makes it that much better.
is there anything you would like to do? Are you going to leave him there?
Might want to chaperone.
I'm Brick.
This place still confuses me.
Don't worry,
You know?
this lady will confuse you more. Here!
I never understood it either.
You know, Brick, I'm sorry. I think I might have actually lowered the volume on my headphones because everyone was kind of quiet, so that might have been my fault.
Okay. I'll just kind of look at Kasumi. You're technically not
Choose your words carefully.
Oh, this is gonna get good. I can't wait.
mortal, correct?
In a way, you could say that.
So this world is just as foreign to you as it is me. You being from technically another place and me being, well, 20 days old at this point.
That is correct. Although I have spent quite some time around humans and typical social interactions, there are certain types that I have still yet to quite understand the purpose. This is one of them, and she just gestures to the whole room.
Stopping specifically on Zahn.
That one.
Hi, Kasumi. How are you doing over there?
Is there an emotion or a feeling I have yet to uncover that would make this all make sense?
I don't. I've heard the phrase. I don't understand it. I don't think I've ever felt it. And I don't know if you're capable of feeling it.
That is a fair point.
So that might be a question for Zahn when he's not occupied.
We tried talking about it one time. He seemed to not be able to get to the point.
I think that's part of the side effects of what the feeling's supposed to cause, apparently. You can't think
Fascinating.
straight. I think they
reminds
say
me
that
of,
part of your brain gets taken over by a different part.
It's smaller,
So,
located
sort of-
south.
Sort of like a charm spell. Interesting.
That's a good way to put it. It does seem like they have the similar effects.
All these people need a counterspell or a dispel then.
I don't think that's necessary because I think they purposely come here to get that, and it might be some form of escape from reality.
These people are on narcotics?
Yes, but without any drugs. As I mentioned, I have been around it for years and I still don't quite understand it.
Well, at least we can be confused together.
It's nice to have someone else confused. It's just sit still.
Are you
Just
sitting
sit
down in the
together.
saloon?
We're just like both sitting in the corners.
Oh, that's
So-
not gonna last long.
Kasumi, you do see a few of the male employees start to approach you, but then as they're like opening their mouths to start their spiel, they see Brick, who kind of like snaps his head over to look at them, and they're like, and they walk away.
Strange.
It is
Do you think
interesting.
they're afraid of me?
They might not have ever seen anything like you. Or
If they
me.
had, I would be very concerned.
Right. What is Zahn doing?
I'm watching them this whole time.
You're watching us.
Oh yes.
The two turbo virgins sitting in the corner.
Well, as
I'm
you
I'm
were
looking-
sitting there and you were watching them sit in the corner by themselves, the girls that you had been entertaining are now growing bored because you're not focusing on them, and they end up leaving you for another patron that seems more attentive.
They come and they go.
I know we're in a strange place, but does anyone notice?
Are you in the blue saloon with them?
I believe so.
I don't
anybody
think
said
I
they were
heard if
leaving.
you and Pez were leaving to join them or not. So I wasn't sure what you two were doing actually. That's kind of my bad for not asking.
I was staying to attune, but I assumed everyone else went.
Hmm. I guess I stayed as well then. Never mind.
Okay.
Well, I'm going.
Well, within the Broken Bottle Tavern, every now and then you see someone come in with a child, and well, there's a lot going on. They're not really focusing on you, but one of those situations where there's a table. If you're sitting down, the table behind Pez, there's a mother who picks up one of their kids and like puts him over their shoulder, and they are just locked onto you. Like that really uncomfortably long staring contest with a baby, but the baby doesn't get distracted by anything else. It is just laser focused onto you. It's
What
sort of
a-
like it like tries to get its arm to do the thing, but it just kind of ends up like wagging its little pudgy fist on his mother's back.
Why does that keep happening? I mean, I've noticed that a couple times. A couple of kids, when that little hatchling is looking at y'all funny. What's going on?
Babies don't. Human babies don't hatch, Pez.
Oh, that's good to know.
Maybe kids just like me.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all I can say. Maybe kids just like me.
All right.
I put my hat on, and you see my eyes like very slightly glow green.
You glaring at me?
No,
Why are your eyes green?
No.
I mean my eyes have always been green.
What are you looking for?
Nothing.
I don't believe you.
All right, go on, and don't believe me. I don't care. I'm an open book.
Is Pez talking shit?
Make an insight check.
Oh God. $14?
What is this against?
It was more to see if I was to force you to say whatever you wish, but with the 14, it's kind of up to you to say what you want to say.
I mean, what, you looking at my eyes? I don't see too well, and I guess with this thing, it's making me see how I normally should see in the dark, so...
You actually do notice once you've attuned to the hat that when you look out the window where it's like bright, like just after noonday sun, it's almost as if you were in like a shady tree spot. Like everything, that nothing's blown out. You can see detail in everything. None of it's whitewashed. Your vision has cleared as if it's like dusk, early dawn, where the light's just in that sweet spot for you as a kobold.
Did we just fix Pez's astigmatism in game?
I mean, yeah, more or less. I mean, my eyes are just glowing. I can see now. I don't have to squint.
I can see
Well-
clearly now. The sun is gone.
On. Well, I'm glad that the hat is working.
Yeah. Speaking of, I don't need this old floppy thing, so I don't know what to do with it.
Give it a hamburger.
It's a little bit too big for him.
Could sit in it.
That is a good try. Yeah. You know what? Hamburger, come here. Come and sit in Paul's hat.
He jumps, flutters, sits in it, just kind of nests down into it.
Hamburger has become loaf.
Hamburger, you take care of that. Don't poop in there. That is Pa's hat, so be careful.
Well, is there anything else you all would like to do for the rest of your day?
Get a good night's sleep.
Oh, is
I'm going
Kasumi
to-
staying again with me?
Let me roll. Yes.
Yay!
So I am going to offer a little bit more of expediency. If there is nothing else you wish to do on the following day, we are going to wrap up for the evening. However, if there is nothing that you wish to do tomorrow, then we can go ahead and when the next session starts, we will start on the day of going after the Duke. If there is something you would like to do tomorrow, then we can hold off on that for the next session as well.
I'm just gonna, as a side note, I'm just gonna put in that Brick integrates his new gun, which I'll probably need a thing for, but he's not gonna integrate.
You need a thing
judge.
for?
The new handgun, a sheet for.
A new sheet. Okay, got it.
A new item thing for.
We can handle that offline. We can say that you do that throughout either the afternoon of this day or the next, whenever you leave the Blue Saloon. You've got 2 days to do it, so it'll be easy to handle. So if there's nothing else, then we will end for this evening. And
I have some bribing to do.
You have some bribing?
Yes, I'm clearing somebody's curse off of this.
Yeah,
Weapon.
removing the curse so I can attune to it.
Mm-hmm. Kasumi. Kasumi. In return for clearing the curse off the sex, I want something in return.
I already told you I would give you a tip.
Oh no, that's fine. The tip would be nice. But you have to let me brush your tails. I promise.
This is the weirdest mating ritual ever.
This is not a mating ritual, you pervert. This is clearly plutonic, and I just want to. I want to roll to see if I can ground a brick.
Brick isn't talking right now, bitch.
I want to brush your tail.
Why?
Because they are soft. As I can hold on to some more than I can hold on to my neck floof. I promise you will like it.
But you'll remove the curse, right?
Oh yes, of course.
Alright, fine. But not in public.
Oh, we'll push into the room after everybody goes to sleep. That sounded very bad.
Did not sound great.
Listen.
It's like, okay.
So, considering that she has not yet attuned to it, you will be able, on the next day, to remove the curse, and then Kasumi can attune to it properly.
Awesome.
So, again, I will ask if there's anything you want to do the next day. We can hold off, or we can skip to the day of the confrontation.
We will spend 5 minutes describing what happens when she is brushed, and then we're good.
Okay, so we are going to end there for the evening. The next session, all hell's going to break loose, and it should be pretty damn fun. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you haven't already, you can join the Discord. Links down below. That's where we will post updates as this week went about. Normally we stream on Fridays, but my work ran long. I didn't even get home till well after 9 o'clock, so that kind of sucked. So we moved it to today. Yes, thanks for watching. Again, if you would like to support us, we do have a Patreon. You're welcome to join that. Donations are always appreciated, but never required. Is there anything else anyone's got? Happy birthday again to Pez, Senor Nim.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Pez.
Happy birthday.
I threw out my back at work yesterday.
Hey, same.
Everyone's
It
wishes
was-
good wishes, doom and gloom.
It was like 12 hours of lifting heavy light kits, blankets, metal poles. It's fun, man. I'm still in a lot of pain right now.
Sorry. Well, hopefully your back feels a little better.
Yeah. Especially for Nim, he does not need to have the hurt back. He is going to carry this story to the end.
And die.
Oh no.
And die.
Secret
die.
Welcome to the jungle, baby. You gonna die.
Okay, bye.
Okay, goodbye, everybody. We will be back in another
Bye.
2 weeks, as is
Halloween
normal.
stream. Halloween
Yes,
stream.
it will be a Halloween stream.
Halloween.
Hello.
In
Spooky.
theory, all of us will be in costume, so long as I can find mine.
In
And as
theory.
long as I can sit in it.
I'm just gonna wear a different hat every
just
10 minutes.
just keep
that's
the
all.
crotch plate out and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
No one's going to see you from the waist. Do it like an interview. Just wear it from the torso up. Okay. Good night, everybody.